Bennett Insurance in Cherryville.
I love my new car, thanks to Carolina Federal Credit Union.
There's their commercial now.
That's how I found out about their low rates. I got approved fast.
Are their rates and fees lower? My bank increased their fees again.
It's better than a bank. Great service, the area's best loan rates, and lower fees.
I got my first credit card with them. I'll never go to a bank. No annual fees.
I need to get to Carolina Federal Credit Union today.
Carolina Federal Credit Union offers auto loan rates as low as 2%. Ask about our Steal a Loan.
Hey, good morning. Campers in Sports Talk Saturday. Kevin Hastings along with Terry Reinhardt today. Tom Sanafani's in the house. And we got new fresh meat in the house, boys. Fresh meat. Hunter Yancey is in the house tonight. Joining us now on WLON. His first night last night, guys. He'll be starting next week out in Lincoln County, lincolncounty.com, WLON 1050 AM. It's doing a little sales for us, Terry. And Tom, he's also doing a little broadcast and a little bit of everything for us. Hunter Yancey, we're going to let him give a little background and information in just a minute. I want to welcome everybody. Last night we had conference championship night.
We did.
Big night around the air. Big nights around the air for a lot of teams, champions, girls, boys, and everything else. We've got, let's see, NASCAR to talk about this weekend. It started up on WCSL. If you're listening to our voice right now on 1590 AM, NASCAR will be all season on 1590 AM. We had truck racing last night. We got Xfinity today, and then tomorrow, Terry, the big one, Daytona 500. And Hunter, we're going to get into his favorite teams and people here in a little bit. Terry, he's a Kyle Bushy. He's not a big NASCAR fan, but Terry has jumped over from the Earnhardt wagon to Kyle Busch now that Earnhardt has retired. So.
I went with somebody who's going to try to go get it, and that's what Kyle does. I mean, those are the people that I like. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I went to Dale Earnhardt Jr. when Dale died, and I just thought that's what everybody should do. I mean, if you're with the man, you should stay with his son, and I did. But I like a guy who will try to go and get a victory, and Kyle Busch will.
All right, so that's why Terry likes, and we'll talk to Hunter about that in just a second, see what he says. NBA action, it's All-Star Weekend. This time next year, Terry, we might be doing this show, guys, from the Charlotte Spectrum Center, as we'll have All-Star Weekend next year. We could maybe possibly set up something. If y'all think about that, keep that in mind.
I got that checked off already.
Write that down. I think we'll have a long line of people wanting to work that morning. What do you think, Terry?
Put me at the top of the list every night as long as we are there.
Tom will have to come see his hero LeBron James and see if he can keep the lipstick off of him. And you want to bring him a diamond ring or something?
Yeah. Don't be jealous just because they're going to win.
Oh, here we go.
Now it's starting to get fired up. Sanafani here, Hunter, is a Cavs in Ohio fan. Terry is a Celtics fan, so as this heats up here during the end of the season, always gets fun here.
Terry's just geographically challenged.
Geographically challenged.
He likes Boston.
He didn't do very well in geography class back in
Terry likes the
High School.
Celtics, Cowboys, NC State,
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I think Terry likes any place where they got good food. So he just picks those teams. Kansas City got good steaks, good barbecue.
Well, they do. They do.
I guess we can forgive you for that. Being all over the place.
It is there, brother. There is no consistency with Terry on that one. But he does like all our high school sports teams in the area, though, don't you?
Every one of them. I do.
All right. Let's see. Golf. Tiger Woods back this weekend. He missed the cut. Didn't make it. A lot of people get excited that some people say it's winning time. He played and completed a tournament. I don't know how long. Not too much winning time there with Tiger.
He's going to play in the Honda. Was the Honda Classic? Whatever.
I think so.
Whatever the next tournament is. That was I guess it was a big announcement because all of a sudden I got breaking news. Tiger Woods is going to play in a tournament. I was like, I mean, now that's breaking news.
Think about the kids though today in the Twitter world who like they have no idea, like that right there. The fact that Tiger played in the tournament, that's breaking news, and they're probably like, what?
Right.
And the fact, man, if you never saw him play when he was just hot, you know, just every Sunday, like you'd go to the golf course, play in the morning, come back in the afternoon, and see if Tiger's contending, and watch it to end the day, and you know everybody watched it because he was in almost every tournament he played in. So that's what
it was Tiger or the field.
Yeah,
Who did you
That's it. Well, I mean, speaking of Hunter, do you have a favorite golfer?
For years, I mean, I like Tiger. I think he's got a great game. You know, he truly revolutionized the game when he came in. He's the first person to hit a ball that far, you know. He came in. People were thinking he was on steroids. No, he was just that well in shape. So golfers followed suit, you know. But my favorite golfer would probably have to be Dustin Johnson.
I understand that.
Come from South Carolina boy.
Now, see, that's one thing. If you come to me and they say, who's your favorite golfer, I just watch the sport. I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of the way I am.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite that I pull for. I mean, you know, Fowler, I like him. I like Mickelson. I mean, you know, I could pull for any of them there at the end. I just want to, when it comes to the end, for them to come down to number 18 or go win a playoff. So, yeah, you know, I mean, that's just me.
A lot of tournaments, I just end up pulling for the American. You know, like you got the British Open if there's an American there.
Well,
you know,
I'm with that a lot too, but
yeah, so you start pulling for the American at the end. So as long as you know, for a long time though, I wouldn't pull for Woods. I mean, I
could not after he did what he did.
Yeah,
it took me a while.
And it's just what I didn't like about him earlier in his career is I heard he wasn't the most fan friendly guy. Now I understand that you got people. Oh, give me your autograph. Let me take my picture. I mean, I can understand how it would get on your nerves, but I just heard that he wasn't real friendly, maybe as he should be. Others, because I went to the Masters practice round, and some of those guys are really, really friendly. They'll let you go up and talk to them and take pictures and all that. But heard he wasn't really like that, but still he had this, I don't know, almost like a cult following. You know, all these people.
He was too busy looking for dates, Tom. He didn't have time to talk to kids and fans. Good grief, you know what was going on.
And you know what? You know, thinking, I remember that happened. You know, that's been about 8 or 9 years ago. It's been a while, but it just blew my mind. It's like that guy doesn't have to do that.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? It just didn't make any sense. You know.
Well,
but anyway,
Winter Olympics is on. Have you guys know how many medals we got?
I think we were like 3rd or 4th. My daughter loves the Olympics. I mean, she just. And I was watching. Did you guys watch skiing?
And y'all just went skiing, so she's probably got it on her mind too.
We were watching the alpine skiing, and we were watching the women. Of course, they got Bodie Miller doing the commentary, and that's probably worse than me doing a game on Friday night because he's gonna say something stupid. And he made the comment, and Terry, I think you heard about it, where he made the comment about the girl who just got married. Well, that's why she's not skiing very well. She just got married. That'll mess you up. And then as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. And an hour later, Terry. I'd like to apologize.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So it was like I didn't expect it that soon because a lot of times, you know, you don't hear it live. You'll hear it like you'll get a breaking news or you'll see it online. But when you actually hear it, when it actually happened, you have to take a double take. So did he just really say that? Like, did he just really say that? It's like, yep, he'll be apologizing for that one later. But the skiing's been fun to watch. Americans haven't been doing real well. It's just hard to beat those Europeans in alpine skiing. You know, the Austrians and the Norwegians, and they're just good skiers, man. Lindsey Vonn, I watched last night. She had to lead momentarily, and then she got knocked down to about 4th or 5th. She didn't do poorly, but I don't think we've got any medals in alpine skiing, or we got one. Maybe
I don't know the exact. I've got the count over here. Yeah. I don't have the exact.
The one American won the silver in the luge.
I was watching that live.
Yeah,
and that was pretty exciting because
that's the first time we ever had a medal.
The first time we've ever medaled in it. The guy that was the favorite made a mistake about halfway down, caught the edge, and you knew the American had medaled, and then he had a couple more people behind him. But the favorite he ended up in second, and the favorite wrecked. He didn't wreck per se, but he just got loose in the turn for you racing fans. So I want to say got a little loose, had to hit the brake, and that ruined his run, and that allowed him to end up with a silver medal. And the guy that ended up in bronze was the guy's teammate that messed up. So you know he knows that guy's better than him. So he's sitting there in bronze, and you was watching the guys on the medal stand, and they're watching it. They make them stand on the stand. So it's not like like if Usain Bolt ran a race and he goes stands on the 100-meter until somebody beats him. That's what they do. So it's kind of weird. They're all just standing on the stands. So they're kicking people off the stands. And the other German, I think it was Germany. The other German guy was just like, "Oh my God, I just won!" He was just in shock, and everybody else is celebrating. He's just standing there like, "Oh crap!" Like, I don't know if he knew. I guess he felt bad for the other guy. Norway's got the most medals at 21. Germany, however, has the most golds with 9. Norway's got 7 gold, 8 silver, and 6 bronze. So there you go, Tom.
Well, they just kill, especially. And I watched the skiing version of the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Where they go like something ridiculous. I can't remember how many miles they.
Do you know we've never won in the what's the one where you shoot to?
Oh,
I forgot the name.
Oh yeah, I was watching a little bit
we've
of that.
We've never won a medal in that.
Yeah.
No.
Shooting.
But you know what we're guaranteed a medal in? Snowboarding. As long as Sean White is on that height, we dominate.
We'll
my
dominate
goodness.
the X game.
That was bothering me. I can't remember what's it called, Terry? Where it's the skiing and the shooting. And
I know what you're talking about, but I mean, when I'm flipping through, I'm gonna tell you myself. I'm flipping through, and I'm watching part of that.
Yeah,
biathlon.
I will stop myself on curling. I have no clue of what they're doing. But I will stop and try to figure this thing out.
Amen.
And then they're
Amen.
and I'm like, I mean, they're in so detail of how they're supposed to spin this thing, and then what are they rubbing it? And I mean, and I'm like,
I think that's the most focused I've ever seen anybody on an inanimate object. Like, they watch that curling block. I don't even know what that thing's called. Is it just called a curling block?
I have no idea.
I have no idea, but they are so focused. Their eyes are like this big. They're just like, oh God. And I can't tell if they're trying to get it on the center of the circle or on the edge of the circle.
Y'all can't tell if this is all made up and it's a movie or not. They're just
BSing. I don't even know what I'm doing sitting there watching it. I mean, I'll sit there and watch it, and all of a sudden I'll watch like them go through the whole game.
Ice shuffleboard.
And I still don't know what they were doing.
Ice shuffleboard.
And they practiced this for 4 years.
I told somebody it's kind of like watching a chimpanzee drive a tractor because it's just so bizarre. And you don't know how this could be going on, so you just watch it. You don't even know what's going on.
Aren't you waiting for like one of them
going on?
to just sling that thing down there like a bowling ball and just wreak havoc?
Yeah.
Like,
woof! Now what, boys?
It's like how is this a sport? But I guess it's just.
And see, like every time something happens, they're calm about it.
Yeah.
There's no fist pump or
so
nothing.
it's like golf.
Yeah, but after that, but they were yelling. I mean, on foreign language, like yelling at the rock. It's like, I mean, I just don't.
Amazing.
The most technical Olympic breakdown you'll ever hear was just us four. What we just did.
Breaking down curling.
That was terrible, folks. We're sorry.
But I tell you what, though, they say up in Canada that stuff's like they all play it. I mean, it's just like it's like a national pastime. I mean, they just love to play it. I mean, it's kind of like bowling.
Here's the order for medal counts. Norway first. Here's top 5. Norway, Germany, Canada. The Dutch is in 4th. The United States in 5th. They start off the 5s with four countries have 9 medals. That's United States, Austria, Japan, and Russia, which is not officially recognized, but they're athletes from Russia, so they got 9.
And how come when we get to number 8, the Olympic athlete from Russia?
Yeah. That's what I just said, Terry.
I know. I mean, why? I mean, Russia. Why don't you just put Russia?
Because they're not even allowed to have their national anthem if they win, Terry.
Yeah.
They're being punished. Sort of being punished, but not being punished, if that makes any sense.
It's like a slap
They
on
had
the
some
wrist.
athletes with steroids, like no other country in this list has athletes with
So
steroids.
then why are we even let them in and even count their goals?
They don't want to count the individuals who passed their test.
They won't.
They won't allow them to play in the Olympic Games.
I think the medals won't.
You know what I
count.
mean?
Okay.
Like if the basketball team got caught with steroids, basically the basketball team got caught with steroids, the Olympic Committee decided to ban everyone
All
in
of
Russia.
them. Yeah, I saw all
So the
that.
curlers over here that ain't taking steroids, they want to play in the Olympic Games. They're allowing them to play.
Okay. All right. Russia.
The curlers aren't on steroids.
think
We better
they-
test
I
that.
would hope not.
You
Russia.
never know.
If you get caught with steroids curling, you just
I think what it is. I think what it is though is like the medals won't count in the historic, counts of.
So we're
medals.
playing in it for nothing to count?
They get the like
They are.
like if Terry Reinhardt is an Olympic athlete,
I want mine to count, Tom.
you'll get your
get
gold,
your medal,
but
Terry.
Russia,
It's like bragging
Russia
rights,
does
I
not.
guess.
And you get to stand up there instead of the Russian flag, it'd be the Olympic flag, and then they like play the Olympic.
Shouldn't they just let them do karaoke to whatever song they want to do? It's, you know,
I'd watch.
Well, yeah, that would be so entertaining.
I'd watch.
Russians
Let them
doing
pick.
karaoke, and you know they're usually 10 years behind in the music and
Yeah,
cultural. Look, we may even hear some Michael Jackson. They may even mean 30 years behind.
Olympic
so-
Committee, you heard it here first, okay?
Yes, but think
Let
about
them
this.
sing karaoke for their gold medals.
4 years ago, the Olympics are in Russia.
Yeah.
4 years later, they're basically
Yeah.
kicked out of the Olympics. I mean, how about that? That's weird. That's just weird.
Let's see. Then you got those gosh, we're forgetting all the good words today. Sweden, France, and Switzerland. Tom, those countries are next in the medal count behind Russia. Switzerland, Italy, Republic of Korea, which is both North and South Korea is how they count them in this. So the Olympic Committee has different rules for countries than the rest of the world has. If them and the United Nations sat down with each other, it'd be really confusing meetings.
South Korea had a guy that was born in like Boston, Massachusetts, out there skating. I was like representing South Korea, and he looked like somebody
Thompson
from Cherryville.
Afani.
It's like, how's this happen? Well, the guy married. What they said was the guy married a daughter who was adopted by a couple in California who was from South Korea, but she was adopted.
Wow,
from
that's so
Boston.
confusing.
Then they went and got citizenship in South Korea. So I'm like, this is kind of
Did you
like
get all that, too?
this is. We got free agency in football, but we got
Yeah.
free agency in the Olympics.
Yeah.
He
Or you
did
can
that
switch
just so he
countries.
could compete.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these athletes you talk about, they live in California, but their great-great-grandma was from this country.
From this country, yes.
So they get that country recognized citizenship. I'm like, this is kind of silly.
You know what? You just mentioned it a while ago, but we have spent like 12 minutes talking about the Olympics, and all them people, the only thing they remember is how many gold counts you gave. Because
Yeah.
Great Britain's got 2. I want to congratulate some of these countries that just got 1 now. They probably don't get too many medals. Slovenia has 1.
That was in skiing, I think.
Liechtenstein has 1.
that's good, Tom. I
And
would have
then-
never told you.
And then Borat from Kazakhstan has 1 too. So they've got 1. All right, that's the medal count. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We got to talk these conference championship games, high school basketball, NCAA basketball. Terry, we got to talk about them Tar Heels, don't we?
And what about that
Big
Wolfpack
week.
going on the road to Syracuse and pulling one? That's
Now we got to talk about them Tar Heels. That's right.
okay, we cutting him off.
Oh yeah, he's done now. When we come back, we'll talk high school sports. We'll introduce you to our new man, Hunter Yancey, here in just a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Visit Campers Inn RV in Kings Mountain for sweet savings on your dream RV. You'll fall in love with their incredible deals on motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. They've got top brand names like Forest River FR3 Class A's, Palomino Columbuses, and Campers Inn RV exclusives like the Cruiser Embrace and the Forest River Acadia. Over 70 new and pre-owned RVs on site, and they're passionate about their 5-star service. Hurry in and save big at Campers Inn RV, Kings Mountain, the RVer's trusted resource. Highway 161 South at I-85, online at campersinn.com.
I'm Lon Helton, and Bonnie going to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Kelsey Ballerini, who tells us all about her wedding.
On the beach in Mexico. But it was perfect. It was by the ocean, which he loves, and yeah, everyone had to travel to get there, so it felt fair. And being married's awesome.
That's Kelsey Ballerini this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Hilton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. Why buy a new Honda from Renato Honda in Shelby? There's plenty of reasons, like 0% financing, complimentary synthetic oil changes on any new car purchase for 3 years or 36,000 miles. Just a couple of reasons to buy from Renato Honda in Shelby. They have a wide selection of new vehicles, from the Honda Civic to the CR-V to the HR-V. Also the Honda Accord and Honda Pilot. Whether you're looking for luxury, sport, utility, or economy, you'll find it in a new Honda from Renato Honda. Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. Online at RenatoHonda.com. When it comes to flooring, Gaston Floor Company in Gastonia is the place to go. They do it all, from hardwoods to laminates to refinishing to carpet and more. And they offer expert installation and competitive pricing. And now Gaston Floor Company has opened up a new showroom. You have a bigger selection of samples to choose from with name brands like Mohawk, Armstrong, Shaw, Bruce, and more. Take a step to a beautiful floor today by shopping the newly remodeled Gaston Floor Company, 914 Moose Street off East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Visit them online at GastonFloorCO.com or call 704-824-7577. Tax time means sale time at Chase Auto Sales, located at 4510 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. Rick Shields invites you to come by and check out their selection on great pre-owned vehicles at special tax time prices. Financing is available, so come on out and check out the great buys and drive away in the car of your choice. Tax time is sale time at Chase Auto Sales, 4510 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. Call 704-824-5000 for Chase Auto Sales of Gastonia. North Carolina is known for its great college rivalries and fantastic March Madness every year. It's also known for its unpredictable swings in weather. Roland Black Heating and Cooling in Gastonia is here to protect the comfort of you and your loved ones by making sure your HVAC system is operating at its best. For over 40 years, Roland Black Heating and Cooling has been providing quality HVAC installation and service for Gaston County and the surrounding area. Make sure your system is operated at its best. Call Roland Black Heating and Cooling, 704-865-1375, or visit them online today at RolandBlack.com.
The one and only Billy Shears. Interesting note. I kind of brought that. Hunter kind of blew his mind for a second. You know how they killed all the people in the '60s, Tom? There's a big rumor, and you know Lennon was killed, right? So there's a rumor slash, conspiracy slash. There's a lot of proof to it if you go and you read through it and look at it. That Paul McCartney is actually dead. Died right before they stopped touring, right before Sgt. Pepper came out. The replacement, they had a look-alike contest the year before. The winner of the contest name was Billy Shears. He was in a band called Billy and the Pepper Pots. Rumor has it that John and Paul got in this argument. And now, you guys, if you're familiar with the album, I think it might be Abbey Road, where they're walking across the road and Paul's got his shoes off. Well, this is supposed to be a reference. So apparently Paul had a wreck and died with his girlfriend after getting in an argument. It's a secret girlfriend, he's married or whatever, so the secret girlfriend, basically, mistress, whatever you want to call it, we got an argument with John about a song, and he went for a drive, and apparently he had a wreck, and he died, and they decided to cover it up instead because they were making so much money. So think about it. All this happened right before the guy that won the look-alike contest for Paul McCartney. His name's Billy Shears. A year later, Sgt. Pepper comes out. Look at the artwork. Look at all they've got Paul and everybody sitting over here looking like they're dead on the left, like at a funeral. They introduced Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with Billy Shears in it. In the song, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, let me introduce you to Billy Shears. He was leader of Billy and the Pepper Pots, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So then they did facial recognition software. Then they used audio recognition software. Now this is where I know you'll find it interesting. Not only does the facial recognition say the guy before Sgt. Pepper's is different than the guy after in all the pictures, the audio engineering proves it too. That the sound waves coming from the guy after the Sgt. Pepper album is different from the guy before. So y'all go look it up. What do you think? Possibility?
All I know is people say Elvis is still alive too.
When the audio, the thing about it is the audio engineers will tell you, man, when that stuff matches up, it's like ID fingerprint, and it's just something that if you really look at it, I think it's a possibility. It might not be right.
I've been learned today,
but just look it up. Learn yourself. Like Kyrie Irving says, look it up yourself.
The world is flat, guys.
I have to look that one up. I have to do it.
Gonna have to look that up.
I have to admit, I have to study a little bit more.
Kevin, I hate to bring this up, but was not Paul McCartney in the recent Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
That's not Paul. That's Billy Shears.
That's what we're discussing.
That's really Billy Shears going by Paul McCartney.
Okay.
There you go. Follow along, John. Follow along, JP.
I'm following along. I just don't get it.
Well,
they used a replacement because he died. There you go. That's all you need to know. All right, Hunter. Let's talk a little quick before we get into high school basketball. Welcome, Hunter Yancey, to the show. How was your biscuit this morning, Hunter? What'd you have?
I had a sausage biscuit. And it was delicious.
I got egg and cheese here. Tom, what'd you have?
Bacon, egg, and cheese, the
and
usual.
Terry's got a whole plate over here.
Biscuit and gravy with side of bologna.
I think Terry went through like the buffet line this morning.
Terry's favorite day of the week is Saturday morning. He comes in here with breakfast. He's ready to rock it. You not get breakfast Monday through Friday, Terry?
No.
I'm feeling kind of upstaged looking at all of this over here. I'm thinking, was this even an option?
Yeah.
I said, what'd you want for breakfast?
Hey, if you want all that, you got to go pick it up.
Yeah, that's a Terry Reinhardt special right there. Hunter is a... Let's see, Hunter, tell about your high school career, sports career and where you went to high school and college and everything real quick. Give everybody a little quick update, and then we'll make fun of your sports teams.
Make fun of my sports teams. Well, I'm from the Denver area, Denver, North Carolina. I live in the Catawba County part of it. I went to Bandy's High School, graduated in 2014. I've played soccer since I was 7. Played throughout high school, all conference twice, all region once. I like to think I had a pretty illustrious career, and then it all comes to an end once high school ends, and then you just get fat. Unless you go to the gym, which is what I like to do now, just to keep myself in shape. But I miss the competition, That's what it is, really, from sports. Of course, being around teammates my whole life, I loved that part as well. But the competition part, that as well. I went to Central Piedmont Community College for a year. For those of you that are listening, thinking about going to college, do not knock community college, okay? If a buddy of yours has chosen community college, do not knock them. It is a great route if they don't really know where they want to go, and it's a real cheap route, I mean,
it's actually a really good route if you do know where you want to go.
Yes.
There's a community college around here that's got a better audio production studios than I had at Appalachian State, and I'll tell you that right now. So, App's updated their stuff, but at that point, there are community colleges.
Yeah.
You pick what's best for you, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I did, but I did Central Piedmont for a year, and it really wasn't for me. I still didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I knew what I was good at, and that was talking. All my life I've been told to shut up, never really listen. But so my cousin had gone to the Carolina School of Broadcasting and loved it. She loved what she was doing, so she told me about it, and I said, well, why don't I just follow suit, see if I like it. So I toured the school, and I loved it, and I enrolled, and it's a year program, so I was done in a year. It's like a trade school. Go in there, and that's all I learned. There was no math, no sciences. It was just broadcasting 5 days a week for a year, and I loved it, and I was able to do a bunch of cool internships after, covered a baseball team for a summer, traveling between Virginia, North Carolina, covered them, and then I got to also be in the booth the press box at Panther Stadium with Charlotte Vibe. They work out of Charlotte, and they cover them. That was one of my other internships that I got to do and run their social media stuff. So I've done a lot of fun stuff due to this. Profession, and I love it, and I'm glad that I'm able to be here with you guys today.
Welcome to the show, and welcome to the board. Tommy here. Little quick introduction. I kind of showed you on the board the other day, but without faces, it's kind of hard. Tom, Browns, Ohio State, Cavs. He does believe soccer's a sport like you do. Other people in the room don't.
I like to hear that.
I coached it for 15 years. So.
Yeah, he was a coach as well, so he might have some pointers for you.
There we go.
Now, Tom kicked football a little bit, too. Did you ever kick any footballs?
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I used to practice out in the yard because my grandma was like, you can make money kicking a football.
Hey, we've got more quarterbacks in this kickers in this company than we got quarterbacks. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Too.
Tom's also, let's see, Browns, Ohio State, Cavs, Cleveland Indians, and Danica Patrick. That's what your board says.
I won't hold it against
you.
Yeah. I won't hold it against you. My cousins are from Ohio, so they're Ohio State fans. They're Browns fans.
Yeah, my roommate in college was I put up with all of that for 4 years.
Yeah.
So as soon as I met Tom, I'm like, man, I've heard all this before.
Is it really? In the name? Does it really say the Ohio State?
Well, I think the official logo does say the Ohio State University. So
God,
here we go.
Here we go. But it does sound. I guess it does sound a bit haughty when you call it the Ohio. I usually don't refer to it as that, but there are many people that do, and that may bring a little bit.
Y'all
of
can start
ire
going
from
the O
miles.
like the U. The Miami.
Well, we do the OH. OH.
We're the O.
And you better be ready for it, because if I wear my Ohio State stuff and I'm like in Asheville or Hickory or somewhere, there'll be somebody OH.
Yeah.
IO. Be ready for the IO.
Yeah.
So especially if you're up there, we've gone to a couple games up there, and they that's how you spot a real Buckeye, because if they see you with your stuff on, they'll give you the OH, kind of like, I guess Terry's little Wolfpack sign or whatever they do. Every school's got their little thing to you and all.
That's it, or a chain.
Or the Wisconsin
chain
does with the W like that. They all got.
I think Carolina just yells "Go to hell, Duke." I think that's all they got, right?
Shoot, I yell it all the time. I'm watching the television. Carolina might not even be playing Duke, and I'm still yelling "Go to hell, Duke."
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
So we got Terry over here, Hunter. He's a NC State, Celtics, Kansas City Royals, Dallas Cowboys, Dale Jr. fan.
Kyle Busch now.
Kyle Busch now. We got to change that on your board.
Just want everybody to know the Danica Patrick thing is a joke. They know not. they know
well,
not.
she retired. You got to change drivers now, Tom.
They know, like when NASCAR comes on, it's like, just don't go to Tom because he'll say something embarrassing. Remember last time I said, do they still race the trucks? Yes, Tom. It was on the radio station last night.
Yeah, I got a buddy at races trucks. They still race them. Yes, sir.
I used to watch it back in the '90s when I was around it, and I had back when Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Bodine and Terry Labonte and all those guys were racing, Sterling Marlin and all those. I used to watch it back then, but I got away from it, and I come back to the radio station, and they were all into it, and I'm just not into it. So, do they race trucks? Yeah. Just shut up. Just don't even worry about it.
Well, Terry, I can forgive you for being a State fan. My mother's a State fan, so when State Carolina plays, there's a little tension in the house.
A house divided.
A house divided.
That's right.
Absolutely. A house divided. But I cannot forgive you for them Cowboys. I can't. I'm
you
sorry.
will have a lot to learn while you're in here.
America's team, Hunter.
Oh, no.
Everybody wants to have a star.
I've put my Cowboys fandom on hiatus until Jerry Jones dies. I know you're new to the show, but I tried to explain it to Hunter the other day. They decided to start a rookie against Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game while a perfectly healthy Tony Romo is on the sideline, and to me that means he's trying to sell hot dogs and not trying to win ball games. And so that's what Jerry's been doing for 25 years now, and your boy Daniel Snyder's trying to copy him.
I know he is.
I don't know
I know he is. I can't stand Schneider.
The only thing that makes Cowboy fans feel better about how bad it's been is that y'all have been worse. So
that's right.
Yeah, it's the only thing that gets you through the night. That's exactly right.
So for the time being, my uncle growing up, and then like I said, my roommate was a Browns fan. My uncle growing up was a Browns fan. They were kind of my AFC team. I love the Dolphins uniforms. Kind of pulled for them with Marino a little bit. So my thing in sports was like, if I'm a Cowboys fan or Cardinals fan, once they get put out, I can't pull for a team that beat them, so I can switch to the other league, whoever's left, and I'll say, I hope that team wins. Well, most of the time I just hope the Browns win, and they, good job, Tom. Y'all never won.
Browns.
They did have a parade, man. They had that parade.
So they relocated to Baltimore, won two Super Bowls, so that's awesome. But anyway, I've decided I'm going to pull for the Browns because I know for a fact that they're not lying to me.
So you know what you're getting on Sunday.
They're not
we're
lying.
dead last 17 out of 20 years.
We're going to try to win and then throw a rookie out there against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean they still put rookies out there, but still,
but they're not trying to win.
Exactly.
So, but no, I've always had a little feeling for the Browns. So we had a show, and I narrowed it down, and Terry's just killing him. But anyway, for the time until Jerry Jones dies. I'm a Browns fan, and then now if the Browns wins the Super Bowl, before that, Terry, I'm done for good. I'll forever be a Browns fan.
You don't have to worry about that.
Don't have to worry about it. But they may. I just want to see how bad they can screw up this draft.
I think they're about to do excellent, Tom.
I hope so.
They're about to do really excellent this
I'm not a
offseason.
Browns fan, but I will say this: if they draft a quarterback, then they're just the dumbest organization to ever live. I'm serious.
I know when I was reading about Kirk Cousins, and it's like he's willing to take less money to go to a winner. I'm like, well, looks like Cleveland.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, so the win. It depends how much that winner is willing to or can pay. Say Denver wants him. Some of these teams can't pay more than the $25 million.
That's right.
When Cleveland comes in and says, we'll give you $35, what's him and that agent going to do?
Well,
that agent comes, you can have $10 million extra years. Sure, the agent's going to be like, Nah, we don't go to
Well, I'll tell you this. If I was Kirk Cousins,
it's gonna be tough.
If I was Kirk Cousins,
I'd go to
the Cleveland job is not as bad as you think it is.
No, but I'd go to Minnesota if I was Kirk Cousins.
Well, that's what they keep saying now, and I
Or
do not understand
Jacksonville,
that at all.
Well,
Why go to Minnesota?
Terry, they got a pretty good team.
That defense
yeah,
is real.
but I mean,
they got pretty good receivers.
They got a great receiver, 2 great receivers.
You've got a starter
and a good running game. Who?
You've got a starter.
Who?
Don't you say Case Keenum?
Yes.
They don't have anybody signed right now. They got 3 free agents.
He is your leader.
We'll talk about it here in a minute.
Yeah, all right, okay. Okay.
We got to get to this high school before our next break. Real
Yeah.
quick, last night, Tom, you was at Kings Mountain Hunter Huss. Kings Mountain was victorious. A really good game, though, right?
Well, it was up and down. I mean, it was a hard game to call because, man, it wasn't about getting in a set play. I mean, it was up and down. Up and down the court, both teams
That was
very
the complete
athletic.
opposite of the game I was at then.
Holy cow. But first half, Hunter Huss really kicked Kings Mountain's butt on the board, and it showed on the offensive boards, and they were getting a lot of second chance points. Had about a 6-point lead, 7-point lead, and that was when I talked to Coach Pierce. We were lucky enough to get him over there and talk to him after the game. So that's the main thing we talked about is we've got to do a better job on the glass, and they did in the second half. And then Delph kind of took over the game. They had Nixon on at first, and they switched to Davis, and there were some things I think that Delph took advantage of, like seemed like Davis wanted to try to shade him to one side a little bit, and you could see it happen. Like he'd shade him a little bit, and just Delph go right around him the other way, and just had his way with who was guarding him. He ended up with 29 points. I think it was about 8 of 9 from the free throw line. So when he got fouled, he always made his shot. So, but other guys for Kings Mountain, I thought Little John had a good game. Melton came in off the bench, had some good rebounds, some good second chance points too. So the pace hours always contribute.
Yep.
Little John, they just really have a really scrappy bunch. And Coach Pierce said, look, these guys are never out of a game. They never quit. And I saw that in the third. It was like in the third quarter, Hunter Huss had that lead, and then all of a sudden Kings Mountain was up 6 or 7. And you saw Hunter Huss lose their composure. They got a tech. And then I was like, this game's over. I mean, mentally, Kings Mountain's going to win this game, and that's what happened.
I just want to mention, folks, before it's over with, go see this kid Delph play at Kings Mountain. He's got the playoffs start this week,
Yes.
so he's going to be going to Appalachian State, Mr. Mountaineer, and he's really he's just such a smooth basketball player. It's fundamentally smooth. I don't know how else to try to describe his game, to where
inside, outside.
Hey, he can do a little bit of everything. He's never like out of control with the ball. He finishes right and left hand. That's what's so great. The right and left hand around the basket. A lot of, let me put it this way. I know this is going way out there, but for a high school player, a lot of Kyrie Irving-ish, but the way he can handle the ball and around the basket and finish. And maybe Tom agrees with me or not, but he just finishes so well around the basket. He's really fun to watch for me. He can shoot too, but that's not. He's not out there just shooting threes the whole game. He's an all around. He's gonna be 6'3" point guard.
Yeah, but he's
pretty good kid.
I think you said it right. I mean, he's got inside, outside, and that's what makes him hard to defend.
He leads the team in rebounding too. He's the point guard and leads the team in rebounding.
And there was a couple
double.
And there's a couple of guys from Kings Mountain that do have the good inside. They can shoot outside and they can attack the basket, and you could see them set them up. I mean, if they hit a couple threes, then here they try to play a little tighter, and then give them a little pump fake, and go right around them, and that happened a number of times in that game last night. So, Kings Mountain is going to be a tough out.
We've been waiting on it for years
plays.
to make a long run, and they've always been a tough out. Maybe this is the year.
But so is Hunter Huss. I mean,
Yeah,
Hunter Huss,
they
they
are
go
too.
6'5", 6'5", 6'6",
That's the thing about it. They got size and length too.
And they're good. I mean, they're not a clumsy 6'5". I mean, these are athletes that are 6'5". I mean, and just looking at them, if you'd have just looked at the two teams, you'd have said, I think Hunter Huss is going to take this. I mean,
Let me put this: if I had if you put Delph on that Huss team and had him running the point for that,
oh my gosh,
we just kind of Tom mentioned Kings Mountain just don't have a center, Terry. If they had a 6'8" shot blocker, I'd be saying, guys, Final Four.
They did last time. They did. Last year they did.
And they've lost all the tall guys. They had 2 guys there.
Yeah.
This is the first time they've won like the conference tournament since 98, 99, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, it's a new conference this year.
Yeah.
The Big South has really got I mean, the Gastonia area teams. I know that Cleveland County would like to talk a little junk about football, but I'm gonna tell you
that basketball conferences are good, aren't they? Both the 2A and the 3A.
Kings
actually.
Mountain's kind of, I guess, greater Gastonia, so right there on the edge. So those teams, Kings Mountain and the Gastonia teams, I'm telling you, man, they can play some ball. They've got some good basketball teams.
So playoffs will start this week. Follow KTC Broadcasting. .com on our Twitters and Facebooks. We'll give you our broadcast schedules. We'll be covering Cleveland County, Cherryville, and Lincoln County games during the playoffs. So we'll follow Cherryville Ironman on 1590. In Cleveland County, we're going to rotate, and Lincoln County rotate to our teams in the playoffs. We're going to try to stay with the home teams if we can. It just depends on the matchups and what we think. We want to try to get everybody in that makes the playoffs and try to get them a game on the radio if we can. But on Tuesday we'll have Cleveland County basketball. It'll be Shelby or Kings Mountain, and then in Lincoln County we'll have either East Lincoln or Lincoln on Tuesday night basketball. Let's see. Like I said, we'll announce that this week. Me and Hunter last night was at CVCC for another. They need to come up with a nickname for these basketball matchups, Terry. Not like the Thriller of Manila or something. I mean, it's just. Another buzzer-beaten shot leads Lincoln into a win. We'll put it that way. Robinson hits a 3 at the buzzer, and he was off balance. Didn't look like he was going to get it off, did he? Colson Leach played great defense on it, and he got the shot off, and it went in at the buzzer. And that 3, they win by 2, Terry. You can go back and count East Lincoln's free throws like I always do. It's always about your free throws. And they probably, if they'd have made their free throws, they could have won the game. They started off 20-10 lead. East Lincoln did, and Lincoln came back, and it was a like you said, Tom. Well, you guys were up and down. This game was walking up the court, call a play, run the play. If there's a rebound, the other team runs down. We have maybe one or two times down, but that's it. We saw a lot of four corners from East Lincoln.
Yes,
East Lincoln would get up 5 or 6. They'd go four corners, Terry. But then they would never score off of it. Almost every time they went to that, they turned it over.
Yeah.
And so that allowed Lincoln to just jump right back in it. And then after you go 4 or 5 possessions of not trying to score, well, you're out of rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
So that a lot of back and forth between the two teams, a lot of lead changes. It was an overall good game. Conference Player of the Year last night was named Sidney Dollar after the game. He only had 12 points last night. So they got 17 from Leach and 16 from McClendon, but I think they made a concerted effort to keep an eye on Sidney Dollar last night. He really didn't get off of anything. There was really not that good outside shooting from anybody. I mean, Robinson got hot there for a minute. He had a couple of them.
He had like 21.
Yeah,
and Cordell had 17.
A lot of theirs, everything was in the paint. You know what I mean? Like almost everything in that game was in the paint.
Yeah, I will say this: the better team to me did not win last night. And I'm just talking about team basketball-wise. East Lincoln moved the ball on offense a lot smoother. There was a lot, maybe 3, 4, 5 pass possessions. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that's a great offense, but, everybody will compare that to Spurs basketball, ball movement, making cuts in the right area and whatnot. But I will say this, the 2 best players on the court were for Lincolnton. And that's what won them the game. It was definitely Littlejohn and Robinson.
That's funny he mentions that as far as the Spurs moving it. I don't see if you've ever you're at a lot of Burns basketball games running the clock. You've seen tons over the years. You ever seen a team in warm-ups practice throwing the ball in the corner and then shooting it there? In the corner. So East Lincoln was running to the corner, and the other side was making a couple dribbles, and then they were cross-court finding the guy in the corner and just shooting threes in the corner. It's almost always on the wing. Running a couple little drills here and there. I don't know if I've ever seen like a drill before a game where you practice kicking the ball into the corner and then shooting. Besides NBA and college, not in high school. I don't know if I ever have.
The only time I've ever seen that is when we had to make a trip over to East Davison, and it was girls basketball. Now, this is what I'm saying. But this team come out there, and I even told Coach Sane when I saw them in warm-ups, because they was feeding corners and they was firing three, and this was girls.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're in trouble. Because they're just their warm-ups. It was smooth, it was guided, it was everything to a technique. And I'm like, this is not what we're going to see. And they proved to us it was what we was going to see.
Hey, Kevin, I told you this a little bit last night, too, when you came up there with me. For the Wolves, definitely I think the difference in this game was definitely the guard play between the two teams. Yeah, East Lincoln's guards were just shooting a lot of spot-up jump shots. Not many of them were slashers driving to the basket, but definitely the Lincolnton Wolves, and it's those two, it was Robinson and Littlejohn, they were making next-level moves, and what I mean by next-level moves is they would catch the ball, maybe pump fake, drive to the lane, and then they're not afraid to take the contact, because that was what was key on that last possession for Lincolnton to send them to the free throw line. That helped them out a lot is, they gave him so much space on the isolation, Littlejohn, and he drove past him. And he said, well, I'm going in here with the intent to get contact and get to the foul line. And that helped him out a lot.
Tyshawn Harris was really aggressive last night. Want to say something about him. With Lincoln and the way their team's set up, it's almost like it's kind of weird, like what he's saying about the team basketball. He's not, as far as team basketball, probably, East Lincoln does it like the Spurs basketball, but the Lincoln, they've got Littlejohn, they've got Robinson, and they got Harris, which can they basically have 3 point guards in your lineup. Then you got Robbie Cowie can do inside and outside, and then you got the other Littlejohn that plays a lot. He's like the enforcer down low. So it's a totally different type of style. So it's more, let's beat this guy. There'd be a lot of times where Lincoln would spread out, set a pick, and try to beat that guy off the dribble and take him in. And
a lot of isolation ball.
So if you got Cordell, so you basically got 38 points from the point guard position last night with Cordell and Robinson taking it from the top of the key.
And you basically got what you was looking for all year long. The first time we played Lincoln, it pretty much manhandled East Lincoln. Next time, East Lincoln manhandled Lincoln. And so you got the game you wanted at the end.
Close 2-point game.
Yes.
Good adjustment for everybody. Destiny Johnston was named the Girls Player of the Year in the conference. Coach Hancock of East Lincoln was the boys. And Coach Kara, let's see, congrats to Kara. Okay, that's not that. All right. Real quick, I do want to mention before we go to break, also last night, Lincoln Charter won over Bessemer City in that championship.
That was tight.
It was a 10-point game at halftime, Terry.
But
what's the final score?
93-59.
It was a 10-point game at halftime, Tom.
Wow.
Now let me tell you what happened the game before. Halftime score for Lincoln Charter against Highland Tech, who Highland Tech beat Cherryville.
Wow.
Now remember, Highland Tech beat Cherryville by like 14. At halftime of Lincoln Charter Highland Tech, it was 78-22.
Gabriel's got them boys playing good.
78-22 halftime. Final score was like 98-36 or something
32.
like that. 32.
Sure was.
I mean, they've got to figure out something to do with that. And we're not going to get in that day. We talk forever about that. What I do want to mention, though, however, last night I did see a little bit. I'm not going to name any names or say who did it or whatever. I'm going to show you the guys here some video of what I saw last night. A little bit of unsportsmanlike conduct last night after the game. I don't know if Hunter saw it or he was upstairs messing with his camera. From a coach, Terry. Not only from a player, but from a coach. And it was directed towards another player. Not a fan, not another coach, but towards another team's player. I'm not going to name who it was. I'm not going to say what they did, but that's really uncalled for. And I'll show you the video. You'll probably agree with me. And the person who did it should know better, along with the other player who did the same thing should know better too. And I just want to say, and they were winners. So, well, why are you acting a certain way when you do something? When you're a winner, act like you've been there. The whole Barry Sanders line.
That's exactly right.
Act like you've scored a touchdown before. Act like you've won a game before. And act like you've won a conference championship the year before in the same game.
And you really you don't have to say anything or do anything. You just won. Just walk off.
It was weird. It's just weird, just totally weird. And I'm sure that everyone's talked about it, and they've had some discussions and maybe some apologies here and there. But we'll see. We don't know. But I just wanted to make mention of that.
Yeah, I want to go over the rest of the
Terry,
scores.
We got some girls score too to go.
And again in the Big South 3A.
Lincoln Charter girls also won their championship. I do got that. Go ahead, Terry.
Kings Mountain won 72-64. Tom and M did that game. In the girls' action, it was Ashbrook winning 67-44 over Forest View. And now we go to the Southern Piedmont 1A Conference. Lincoln Charter 93, Bessemer City 59. In girls' action, Lincoln Charter also wins 50-34, and it also helps that you're playing at home in that tournament. In the Southwestern, I'm not going to say the boys wouldn't have won for sure, but But in the Southwestern 2A Conference, it was RS Central 73, East Rutherford 59. In girls' action, East Rutherford defeats RS Central 67-47. And then in the South Fork 2A Conference, Kevin Nim was at this one, 64-62. Lincoln wins over East Lincoln. And in girls action, it was Newton Conover 54, Lake Norman Charter 28. So
that was a dominant game, wasn't it?
Yeah, Newton Conover.
Oh God, yeah. No one could stop China down low. It's hard to stop someone that's got 4 inches on the next closest person. You know.
Tom, real quick, how weird is it not having RS Central and East Rutherford in the conference right now?
That is. I mean, it's just because it's been so long.
Yeah. We said RS Central East Rutherford game, and I was about to ask Tom about the Hilltoppers. I'm like, I don't know if Tom's seen the Hilltoppers.
I haven't seen them. I mean, and they've had good basketball teams. So, I mean, it's just been – it is weird.
You know, everybody talks about the football conferences when you split them up, but look at these conferences now that these Cleveland County teams are in with these Gaston and Rutherford teams. They're really good basketball conferences.
Yeah, always.
I mean, RS East Rutherford is in there with Shelby and South Point and all them, and then you got South Point's up and coming. You know, they're making runs that they have never made in school history. And then over in the Big South, the Husses, the Ashbrooks, and the Kings Mountains. I mean, it's Crest went to the Final Four 3 years ago or 2 years ago. So Ashbrook did too. Ashbrook went to a championship game. So they got pretty good conferences in basketball, folks. Get out and see that. But it's time for a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. It's time to talk. Let's see. We got Tar Heel basketball coming up, right, Terry? No, Tony. Terry's got to leave early. He's trying to figure out which one you don't want to talk about. We might have to save that till after Terry leaves. NASCAR coming up, 15:90 a.m. this year. NASCAR is back on KTC Broadcasting. We have that coming up. We've also got some NFL news. Marty Herney's back in the run after he's been cleared of all allegations or whatever it is. So we'll talk a little bit about that. More Panthers news. Will Peppers get back? What will the Browns do? We've got NBA trades to talk about, more what the Cavs did, Isaiah, and everything else. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. It's All-Star Weekend also on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Visit Campers Inn RV in Kings Mountain for sweet savings on your dream RV. You'll fall in love with their incredible deals on motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. They've got top brand names like Forest River FR3 Class A's, Palomino Columbuses, and Campers Inn RV exclusives like the Cruiser Embrace and the Forest River Acadia. Over 70 new and pre-owned RVs on site, and they're passionate about their 5-star service. Hurry in and save big at Campers Inn RV, Kings Mountain, the RVer's trusted resource. Highway 161 South at I-85, online at campersinn.com.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincoln will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night for Bryce Johnson.
5 seconds on the clock. The ball is in the hands of your best player. 4 seconds. A game of 5-on-5 comes down to 1-on-1. 3 seconds. He starts to drive. 2 seconds. Stutter step, crossover dribble. He stops. 1 second. Raises up and lets it fly.
Carolina is going to the championship game.
Feel the intensity right here on the Tar Heel Sports Network.
When you need service on your automobile, do what I do and what most people around this area do. They take it to Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. They do it all at Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. Rick Walker and his staff is dedicated at providing you the best in automotive care, from an oil change to a tune-up to a full set of tires. Be sure to check out their tire specials before you buy. That's Rick's Automotive, 1001 East Main Street in Cherryville. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30. Just call 704-435-3801 for Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. The summer sales event is underway at Elliott Supply Company in Polkville. Come see the new Husqvarna zero-turn mowers. Get 0% financing for 48 months. Well-qualified buyers may be eligible. And that's not all. See the Patriot zero-turn mower by Skag. Now sale priced at $6,099. Plus get 0% financing for 48 months. Don't miss the summer sales event at Elliott Supply Company, Highway 182 North in Polkville. Call 704-538-8661. From auto to home to business to life insurance, your hometown agent is Rocky Bennett at Bennett Insurance Group. Rocky has been serving this area for over 33 years, offering you the best in coverage with Erie Insurance. No matter your claim, Rocky will work side by side with you for your best coverage. See Rocky Bennett today at Bennett Insurance Group, 116 West Main Street in Cherryville. Call 704-435-0270 for Bennett Insurance in Cherryville.
All lamp ride, jump in the fire, fire too high, jump in the pot, pot too black, jump in the crack, crack too high, jump in the sky, sky too blue, jump in canoe, canoe too shallow, jump in the tallow, tallow too soft, jump in the loft, loft too rotten, jump in the cotton, cotton so white she stay there all night.
And good morning, welcome back to Campers Inn, Saturday Sports Talk with breakfast by Mitchum's Kitchen and Terry. And Tom, you guys, if you hear Ernest T. Bash, I know it's NC State basketball time. Back in time for JP Terry.
Whatever it takes for that to be publicized.
Whatever it takes.
That's right.
Wolfpack couldn't pull off the win last week against Tar Heels. Tar Heels beat Duke. Wolfpack. Who else they beat?
Monday, the Fighting Irish.
Yeah. Okay. It's a big week for them. Looking at the SEC standings, though, for the first time, Duke is the only team in the last 20-something years that's had a finished with a 3-game lead in the ACC. And Virginia right now has a 3-game lead over Clemson and Duke. 4 games over North Carolina. And it looks like the Wahoos are pulling away, Terry.
Yeah, this has been over for a while. I mean, a couple of weeks ago when Virginia played Louisville and knocked them off, that put them 3 games back, and they've just, the thing that gets me about Virginia, and they look great in the ACC, and I've heard people now say, if you're going to win the ACC, it's going through Virginia. It's not going through Duke or Carolina anymore. I mean, you're starting to hear that a lot. Virginia's very good in the ACC play. And I keep trying to wonder how come our teams cannot figure out how to beat them, because once they make the tournament,
everybody else figures out how to beat them. Yeah,
everybody else figures out how to beat them, and they get knocked off. But Duke and Carolina continue on. So I guess you take your if and annies. Which one do you really want to be good at?
Another thing, Terry, I want to see what you think about this. Being from the area, when North Carolina and Duke walks in the gym, those jerseys get 5-10 points.
Yeah.
Instead of Virginia's not going to score 60 on you. Look at Duke, North Carolina, and be like, those boys are good. Whether if my shirt says Clemson or Miami or whatever, you self-consciously think they're better than you. You know what I mean? What we say? Sometimes you walk in the gym, you're already losing.
Yeah, that's in a lot of sports. Yeah, but that's like going up here and saying I'm having to walk in Shelby to play them in football. You already know you're behind before you get up there.
And some of us bring our 6-shooters anyway when you're 30.
That's right.
It doesn't really matter. I'll tell Hunter about that later. So,
what are you looking at right now? I'm looking at the ACC with 9 or 10 teams.
Well, that's what you never know with how they do. And I'm always one of those people that I would rather you let in a second place team on one of these lesser conferences than I would a 9th or 10th place ACC team. Because if you're 9th and 10th, why are you fighting? Why are you even worried? You're not going to win a championship. You're not going to. If you can't, you're not going to win the ACC championship. You're definitely going to win the NCAA championship. So when we argue about the 64th to 68th team, I'd rather them put in the Davidsons or whoever is second in those conferences than the 9th, the Florida State Seminoles. Why do they need to be in the tournament? What are they going to do?
Well, speaking of bracketology, and if you look at it right now, State is like one of the first 4 in. They're in 8th place in the ACC, and that, to me, that's amazing because we've beat 4 top 25 teams.
I just get ready to say quality wins is going to help the State.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
Definitely.
But we're one of the first 4 in. Come on, y'all. Be a little bit more guiding than that.
Yeah. I do definitely think they're in as long as they play, especially if they win at least one ACC tournament game. I mean, I don't see how you can
I
keep
find
them
it
out.
hard you even keep them out in general, whether they win an ACC tournament game or not. To beat Duke and North Carolina and they're both rival games, beat Arizona, Clemson's no slouch. It's hard to leave them out. I mean, there's not a bad loss on their sheet. I don't see a bad loss.
UNC Greensboro people would say, but they're probably going to get in.
Greensboro's played very good.
Greensboro gets in, then you definitely can't.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
If they're in, you can't count that.
Yeah. Okay, you got beat by UNC. That's the whole name thing about college sports.
It's
so frustrating. They look at names and not resumes. This is the football version of it. But state, Terry, they don't even have a vote in the vote. In the
yeah, is that not new? I mean, every time I look at that, I just laugh.
They've beat like four top 25 teams.
I didn't know if you guys had seen this. The FBI probe, which keeps going on about college basketball recruiting. 16 teams, and of course, my Ohio State Buckeyes are one of them. But Virginia, Villanova, Xavier, Purdue, Auburn, Kansas, Duke, Cincinnati, Clemson, Texas Tech, Michigan State, North Carolina, Tennessee, Arizona, and Oklahoma, all teams that are under FBI investigation. Since I was asking about Pitino and the scam where Adidas was trying to pay off families to get them to go to Louisville, and this is getting ugly, Terry.
Yeah, it's getting very ugly. And when you speak of in the ACC, again, there's only 3 teams. Miami U, Louisville, and North Carolina State, who even has Adidas in their names. And you wonder how come North Carolina State's not on there. So that means we, as a legitimate school out there, are doing the correct thing not to mess up. That's what you say, Kevin?
Yeah, Terry. Y'all are the epitome of morality at NC State.
Well, if this comes down to recruiting,
this
most recent recruiting class has got my eyebrows raised at Duke hard. If this is,
they got
Duke
the
is
top
under the
3
FBI, they got the
players.
top
Yeah.
3 players.
Yeah.
They got the top
4 out of the top 10.
I understand the one and done logic. They got to reload for next year.
Well, Coach
I
K
get
suddenly
that.
switched from everybody
Yeah.
shooting threes and everybody graduates seniors, and now all of a sudden all the one and dones are coming to play with me, and I'm coaching USA basketball.
Yeah. Oh,
Come on. And I'm not sitting out, and I'm sitting here in a Tar Heel jersey if you're watching, but I'll be the first one to say Roy needs to go if he's got anything to do with it, because of already the academic stuff that he tries to say he didn't have anything to do with.
I've been thinking Roy needs to go past 2 years.
Well,
But that ain't nothing to do with that.
I'm not a fan of his coaching, so I can get to that.
Well, think about it. I mean, when all this come out and they all of a sudden was trying to bust the Fighting Irish, them people over there mentioned UNC.
I just want to make sure that
right off the bat.
throughout this whole process that they make sure that they villainize the people that need to be villainized and not the students accepting the money.
Yeah.
Well, I as an 18-year-old kid, don't expect that. I mean, you're going to offer $500,000 whatever to this family as an 18-year-old kid. I mean, what
More
would we
money
have
than
done?
they would ever see in their lifetimes.
I mean,
what are they
that's just not
supposed
right.
to do?
Yeah.
What exactly
That's
are the
not
kids
fair.
supposed to? All right, so let me give you an example of if they would just pay the athletes, they wouldn't have these problems, right? So, Greg Olson ran for Man of the Year. We all know, if we know anything about him, he should not be Man of the Year. Look it up, folks. Just because someone wears a Panthers logo don't mean they're a good person. A.K.A. Jerry Richardson. How about that? So, Greg Olson begged fans and tweets for this, trying to raise money. So if he can be named Man of the Year, narcissism, he wants to be named Man of the Year, and then that will win Levine Children's Hospital $25,000. He made the Pro Bowl the last 3 years. In all of them, he made $15,000 in each of the Pro Bowls. That could pay off Levine's $25,000 right there. How many millions of dollars does he make? That could easily give him $25,000 if he wanted to. So he did all this trying to win Man of the Year. He didn't win it, and blah, blah, blah. That's nice. Raise money for the kids. But then, now remember, he's begging people to raise $25,000. This week he donated $100,000 to the University of Miami's softball indoor facility. He personally donated $100,000 for an indoor softball practice facility in Miami, where we all know the weather is terrible. Nobody wants to go outside Miami. Let's go indoors and practice.
It does rain a lot.
$100,000 for that. Tom, you can put a batting cage in my garage. You don't need to. You know how much this building cost?
Yeah.
$2 million. Yeah. How many softball players are on the team?
We probably got 20 or 25.
That's what I was getting ready
Okay,
to
let's say
yeah.
it's 20. Divide $2 million by 20 kids. I mean, that's how much money you could just give the softball players for playing softball. Or you think they'd rather have that, or they'd rather have an indoor practice facility in Miami?
Well,
and remember, Greg gave 4 times the amount of money that he was unwilling to give to the Children's Hospital. He gave 4 times the amount of money so these girls could practice indoors.
Just remember, Kevin, the NCAA is a non-profit organization.
Yes.
Non-profit organization.
Yeah,
big quotations.
They've just
instead of $2 million for the facility, if they wanted to, they could have gave all the softball players on that team this year $100,000. That's how much money. That's how much money. Not saying they deserve $100,000 for softball, That's how much money they don't have nothing to do with the money. They got to do something with it. That's how much money they're raking in, and then they say we need money, but you could give the softball players $100,000 each.
Do I don't know. A lot of times I know when we talk about giving players money, and me and you have our things about that. But my dealing behind is this: even let's just go any sport. I'm gonna take basketball since we're talking about basketball. A guy that sits on the bench, if he needs something, I guarantee he's got a number to call. I mean, guys, it happens in every sport. Anything that they play. I find it hard that I have a Division I school or Division II, whichever, that I can have a guy sitting over here who is not an elite athlete, that's not on the floor, but if there was something this young man needed, somebody's going to get it for him.
Bruce Pearl got fired for having a hot dog party.
So
Bruce Pearl got fired for feeding the kids hot
dogs. He
dogs.
Shouldn't be making it public.
Hot dog. Yeah, see? I can't publicly
There's
feed this
the
kid hot
difference.
dogs.
And you know what's hard about this whole thing when we talk about athletes, accepting money, sometimes the kids don't even know it. Sometimes the parents accept the money. That was like this kid, a part of the Louisville
Cam
scandal.
Newton's daddy got a nice.
Oh yeah, Cam Newton's daddy
nice.
got a lot of money. That's right. Yeah, we won't even talk about computers. He hates that.
Cam
Anyways,
got the best his dad got the best.
but like I'm saying, sometimes these kids they'll go to these schools and not even know that money's getting slid underneath the table to their mom and daddy, and it comes back and bites them. They can't help that it's something that their mom and daddy chose to do. They had no idea that it was even happening.
But in college, think of all the things that go wrong. I mean, when you go to Pete Carroll and everything he did at USC and he leaves, who took blame for it? USC did.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll got nothing for that. I mean, he did it.
Yeah, he did get something for it. He got a good job.
He got a great
well, there you go. I mean, somewhere along the line we're doing stuff wrong.
It's always about protecting the coach. Every rule in college is about protecting the coaches.
Yeah.
And not about the kids. If a coach can transfer and leave to any other school he wants to with no problem, and then that school, let's say, then the school has to do a buyout, or somebody's got to do a buyout, and if they fire a guy, we got schools paying that have $10 million in debt to coaches that aren't even there anymore, and they're making decisions on the coaches. The whole transfer thing, where the coaches are like, well, if you can freely transfer, which you should be, every kid in the school can transfer except the basketball and football players, basically. And without any penalties, but the coaches can transfer. But if that kid wants to transfer, then all of a sudden it's a problem. And the whole paying thing. And Hunter, I know you're new to this. I'm not saying they all should be paid like millions of dollars. I'm always saying like they should be paid the same amount a part-time job would pay them that they would need so they wouldn't have. They're working a job. They're working a part-time job, going to all the practices.
Technically, they're working a full-time job. Because
really,
you
they really
sleep and breathe that if you're not in class,
and if you don't go to class.
Yeah, if you don't go to class,
and if you're not good in practice, they take your scholarship away.
I guess the only thing that we go to, and I'm just mentioning brief, because Kevin thinks that way. Now I think the opposite. I think you just got a scholarship to come here that they're paying for, somebody's paying for. That's part of paying you.
You're right.
I agree. It's part of it, but what I'm saying is that each girl on that softball team's owed $100,000 this year. So take that money out of whatever my tuition is and give me the rest. If my tuition was $15,000, now you owe me $85,000, Terry.
But now, Kevin, think of it. Would you rather go to an outside facility where it's 90-some degrees, or go to that inside facility where it's 65 or 70?
Now, I will say this: when it comes to college athletics, I think it is absolutely wrong that they don't make any money off their likeness. They sell these jerseys with their numbers. You know good and well when Johnny Manziel was at Texas A&M, everybody rocking that number 2 jersey. They weren't just rocking number 2 for themselves. It was for Johnny. It was for Johnny. And then he gets penalized. Same with Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley, when he got in trouble, what was it, for autographs?
Oh, yes.
Taking money off of autographs? Or maybe it was Johnny as well. But I know Todd Gurley got hit with it as well because him and Johnny, I think that was the same season. Doesn't matter. Anyways, I thought that was dumb. I thought that was dumb.
Or when Ohio State had to vacate a whole year's worth of win over tattoos.
Wasn't it to Pryor?
Yeah, I mean, that was just the most ridiculous thing.
Those are expensive, Tom.
I think it's just so fun. Like, the NCAA has got their hands all over these kids.
I'm just glad I wasn't. Okay. I mean, if I look at myself when I was their age, and some of the stuff.
Here's a question for you. I got one that's come in. It says, so do you pay all the athletes the same amount?
Yes.
I mean, if it's
You
like
just
a
heard what I
part-time.
said. You just heard
No
what I
matter
said.
what.
Yes, they're all practicing and doing the same thing. They're all getting the same scholarship, Terry. Nobody's getting a better scholarship than the other ones.
Some might be getting full, some might be getting half.
Well, okay.
Some might get the deluxe meal plan. Some got the basic meal
Yeah,
plan.
that's it. That's
But
it.
I mean, if you put them on
That's
a
what
set
that
wage,
dude off that bench is getting.
Yeah, I mean the set part-time wage.
maybe like
dude
a
on the
set
bench
part-time
can't go to
wage.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
the
that's it.
starter can. That's what it is.
Maybe like $7.25 an hour. You know.
See, that's when it'll start getting shady. But yes, they should all be paid the same. They're all practicing. The guy on the bench, I guarantee you, a lot of times the guys on the bench are working harder than some of the guys starting.
Oh, I guarantee it.
You know what I mean? If I'm still getting up at 3, at Appalachian State, the dang walk-ons who would never get to play are waking up at 4:30 in the morning to go lift weights, Terry. Then they go to class. Then they go to practice after school. And then the ones that don't have parents with jobs and a lot of money, then they have to go to a part-time job. Then they come home and study. Then they wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Yes, that guy should be paid.
Yeah, and they ask you, man, what did you do today? And he says, well, this morning I got it as my real name, and then my name was Johnny Manziel on the football team because I was on the opposite side. I mean,
Oh yeah, I was on the scout
As
team.
as far as the equal stuff, yes, everyone gets the same base. But what Hunter's saying is when they put the number 2 jersey up in there, Johnny Manziel gets a piece of that.
And I'm not saying
The
he
guy
has
on
to
the
get
bench,
50%.
the guy on the bench don't get any
No,
piece
he
of
does
Johnny
not
Manziel.
get nothing.
But that's what I'm saying. If there's up here selling my jersey,
Mm-hmm.
or you know, is selling anything with the
but it's only your jersey while you're there. Because that jersey has been in that system for who knows how long.
Now, wait a minute. The NCAA got on North Carolina about this a few years ago. Have you seen the yard sales they have? So if they give the players the jersey after they leave, they still can't sell it while they're still even if they're getting new ones. So Carolina was having these yard sales because they couldn't give their players their old jerseys. So they're reselling all this old stuff to the fans. So Hunter can go up for $5 and buy a jersey, but if Terry goes up and buys his own jersey and then tries to sell it, that's an NCAA violation.
As long as I'm there.
Yeah. So that you can't sell your own equipment that you've worn, but Hunter can. But you know, Luke May can't.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny.
Hunter can make up Luke May the Bagley shirts. There's kids selling shirts with Bagley's like face shadow.
Yeah,
they're selling and making money off Bagley's logo.
And he ain't getting a dime.
He can't get a dime from it, but they
can.
You know, and guess what? Here's the worst part about it. Before our break, the NCAA actually contacted the Bagley family and told them it's their legal obligation to make them stop using his image. It's not the NCAA's obligation. It is the Bagley family. So Bagley is on the verge of being an illegal player because somebody is using his image and making money off of it, and it's not the NCAA. So that's the whole rule. As long as the NCAA is making money off their image, it's good. No one else can. And that's what they're threatening Bagley with that.
That's why they stopped making NCAA football video games, and I'm pissed about that. God,
that too. That was. I still got an I got one with Armani Edwards.
I got the last one. I got the last one they made was 16. I had Denard Robinson.
Tom, real quick, you're like this. You've never seen so many Appalachian State Akron Zip college football games in your life. If you'd been in Appalachian in our dorm or / apartments those years, there's a series somewhere on some PlayStation, like 100 to 102 between the Akron Zips and Appalachian State Mountaineers. We had some pretty big matches between my roommate.
Hey, Chuck Amato's up there.
Yeah, now listen to this. Another caller says, so then if you give that player a percentage, you are just setting up the highest bidder process.
Who cares? Why do you care? Why do adults care that these kids make money? They're 18, 19, 20 years old. Why do you care? You don't care if the flutist goes to New York and gets paid $1 million to blow his flute. Why do you care if the football player gets paid?
Is it called a flutist?
Flautist.
But you got to understand, this is.
I think it actually is a flautist. But if I said flautist, I didn't think I would get that. So.
This is going to start being more prominent too, because Emmanuel Moutier did it. A bunch of other players are going to do it. Hell, even the ball boys are doing it. They're not even going to college. They're making some money. Scouts are still seeing them, and they can get drafted.
The one and dones honestly have no reason to go to college.
They don't. Ben Simmons even said it was a waste of time.
$50,000 or $100,000 from somebody else and go to the pros. But we don't have. You know those kids. There's not that many.
I wouldn't have a problem if the NCAA reinvested that money in the colleges. I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? But they don't. They're paying coaches $8 million a year, and all this, and building these super facilities and all. I mean, just for not for the common good. You know what I mean? Well, we're gonna have these awesome athletic facilities, which the majority of our student population doesn't get, like the softball facility you talked about. So
I think the golf coach at Tennessee gets paid $650,000.
If you're really investing in what you're supposed to be in, education of society, then that's different. But no, this money's going into the hands of the few. That's why I just. There's no way those kids shouldn't share if it's just going to all the.
Wouldn't it be better if they graduated with money in their pockets and a degree,
or
pay off for student loans?
Because not all of them are getting drafted. Not all of them are getting drafted.
And
there's only 32 picks.
If you could reinvest that and make college cheaper, then everybody's in better shape too. But we don't.
Well, we know college is
that's
too
what you want. Ask the Appalachian people. How do we keep making millions off these championship and our tuition keeps going up?
That's because
where's that money going, folks?
Because it's going into the pockets of a few, man.
Where's that money going? All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Got to take a quick break. Terry's about to leave here shortly, so we're going to have him choose the next topic. And so it could be anything, folks. We could have NASCAR for Tom. We could have NBA. We could have WWE. We could have chicken fighting. Whatever Terry wants to do. We'll be back in a few minutes. KTC Broadcasting.
Visit Campers Inn RV in Kings Mountain for sweet savings on your dream RV. You'll fall in love with their incredible deals on motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. They've got top brand names like Forest River FR3 Class A's, Palomino Columbuses, and Campers Inn RV exclusives like the Cruiser Embrace and the Forest River Acadia. Over 70 new and pre-owned RVs on site, and they're passionate about their 5-star service. Hurry in and save big at Campers Inn RV, Kings Mountain, the RVer's trusted resource. Highway 161 South at I-85, online at campersinn.com.
The green flag flies here at Daytona. The NASCAR Xfinity Series. Ryan Reed comes to the start-finish line. NASCAR stars of tomorrow. And everybody else trying to chase him down. Make their name on the high banks of Daytona. Now there's trouble. Sadler out of shape. The Power Shares QQQ 300. And it's going to collect a bunch of them on the back straightaway. Saturday afternoon at 2. They're crashing after the checkered flag on the Motor Racing Network.
The Power Shares Triple Q 300 NASCAR Xfinity Series race from the Daytona International Speedway, Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock on Carolina Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Let your ideas grow at the Southern Spring Home and Garden Show, February 23rd through 25th and March 2nd through 4th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. With hundreds of experts all under one roof, this is the place to find great deals, new ideas, and practical advice. See Vern Yip of TLC's Trading Spaces. Plus, explore thousands of square feet of landscaping and florals in Bellegarde Gardens. From kitchens and baths to landscaping and more. Don't miss the Southern Spring Home and Garden Show. Buy tickets online and save $2 at charlottespringhomeandgardenshow.com.
Should we go with a zone D or man-on-man coverage? Do we take a timeout or draw the foul? Who do we want to take the shot?
On the shot! That's it! Make room for 2017! The Tar Heels are the national daggum champions!
Find out the answer to all these questions and more by tuning in to the Tar Heels Radio Network.
Carolina just would not give up.
The summer sales event is underway at Elliott Supply Company in Polkville. Come see the new Husqvarna zero-turn mowers. Get 0% financing for 48 months. Well-qualified buyers may be eligible. And that's not all. See the Patriot zero-turn mower by Skag. Now sale priced at $6,099. Plus get 0% financing for 48 months. Don't miss the summer sales event at Elliott Supply Company, Highway 182 North in Polkville. Call 704-538-8661. It's time to recruit Roland Black Heating and Cooling in Gastonia to be the next MVP on your home service team. They'll help you strengthen your defense, tackle seasonal allergies, common colds, and even the flu virus in your home or your business with a professional indoor air quality solution. Upgrade your new or existing system to reduce allergens and kill up to 99% of bacteria, mold, and viruses. Call Roland Black Heating and Cooling to be the next MVP on your home services team. Call 704-865-1375. Again, 704-865-1375. Visit them online today at RolandBlack.com. Visit Campers Inn RV in Kings Mountain for sweet savings on your dream RV. You'll fall in love with their incredible deals on motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. They've got top brand names like Forest River FR3 Class A's, Palomino Columbuses, and Campers Inn RV exclusives like the Cruiser Embrace and the Forest River Acadia. Over 70 new and pre-owned RVs on site, and they're passionate about their 5-star service. Hurry in and save big at Campers Inn RV, Kings Mountain, the RVer's trusted resource. Highway 161 South at I-85, online at campersinn.com.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
It is the biggest stage in all of stock car racing.
Kicks off a new season with the Great American Race.
Something that's on every single driver's bucket list.
The 60th running of the Daytona 500.
Chase Elliott tries to go for the lead. Larson throws the block. Oh, and he gets snookered.
Exchanging haymakers at the front of the field.
Sunday at 1:30.
They're 3 wide behind them.
On the Motor Racing Network.
The Daytona 500 from the Daytona International Speedway this Sunday afternoon at 1:30 on Carolina Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. When it comes to flooring, Gaston Floor Company in Gastonia is the place to go. They do it all, from hardwoods to laminates to refinishing to carpet and more. And they offer expert installation and competitive pricing. And now Gaston Floor Company has opened up a new showroom. You have a bigger selection of samples to choose from with name brands like Mohawk, Armstrong, Shaw, Bruce, and more. Take a step to a beautiful floor today by shopping the newly remodeled Gaston Floor Company, 914 Moose Street off East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Visit them online at GastonFloorCO.com or call 704-824-7577. When you need service on your automobile, do what I do and what most people around this area do. They take it to Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. They do it all at Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. Rick Walker and his staff is dedicated at providing you the best in automotive care, from an oil change to a tune-up to a full set of tires. Be sure to check out their tire specials before you buy. That's Rick's Automotive, 1001 East Main Street in Cherryville. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30. Just call 704-435-3801 for Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. Since 1983, Bill Shuford Heating and Air has been providing dependable service and quality products to the Cleveland County and surrounding area. And the tradition continues today with quality American Standard heated and air conditioning systems. Just give them a call at 704-484-0025 and they'll help you select the right American Standard system for your needs. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby, your American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, where your comfort is our concern.
He's got such potential.
Welcome back to Campers Inn Saturday Sports Talk at Kings Mountain. Check them out today out there near Interstate 85, not Highway 85, Interstate 85. Terry, your Celtics are done and falling fast. The Toronto Raptors are now the best team in the East. Cleveland Cavaliers, they got all new players. LeBron, you know, he's so great, Tom. He just keeps getting new teammates every other year. It's just so nice of him to let everybody in the league play on his team.
He one young man.
He's
had 50 teammates or so.
It's the front office drama that goes on there. That, you know, they say all these things like he goes in there and cusses them all out, and then the next time they sat him down and had a talk with him. But I think what it was is when they brought in Thomas and Crowder and some of these other guys, the chemistry didn't work. I mean,
no, it did not.
It didn't work, and they knew they had to do something. And this time, though, in bringing in Nance and Clarkson and some of these other guys, these younger guys, Cleveland is basically saying, okay, LeBron, if you leave this time, we're still going to have some young, good players.
They didn't trade that top
they
pick.
Didn't trade that top pick away. So what they did really is, if you think about it, Los Angeles trades those guys to Cleveland, open up a bunch of cap space. I think Rose went to Utah and they cut him. I mean, he didn't even make team. But what Los Angeles has now done is they've by clearing up that cap space, LeBron now can go to Los Angeles if he wants because now they can pay him. So I think that Cleveland's basically opened up the door and said, okay, we know where he's going, but if you want him, you're going to give us these guys, and then we're going to have a draft pick next year. So, they want to – I think Gilbert
has a long-term vision for the Cavaliers, that he wants them to be competitive year after year, even after LeBron's gone. So it was, Kevin told me it was rearranging the chairs on the Titanic, which
it's actually better than that. And I'm going to tell you in a minute why.
But what you like to see is the energy levels different. These young guys want to play, and I think that one of the analysts said on television, made a lot of sense to me, that the guys that were with LeBron before kind of saw him as an equal. It's not like, hey, LeBron, let me see what I can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
These younger guys look up to him, and they're like, hey, what can I do for you? What can I learn?
You know that's what he wants too. He loves people like.
But that's fine
because
well, now if you have that, now they're playing defense again.
He wants role players, not other big
that's
dogs.
Right.
Now what Gilbert did, I think, Tom, let's see what you think about this, is that I almost think he actually set his team up also for LeBron to stay, because, and they did what I wish the Hornets would do. They just traded 4 people who can't play and can't score for 4 people who can play and can score.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Charlotte, Cho, they just did it. Get 4 people that can score, and then they got rid of Isaiah. He can, it just didn't work out. It doesn't match up. Crowder can't score. Got rid of Rose. He can't score. And they got all these people that can. Now, what I think
Hill the point guard too.
Yes,
right?
George Hill.
Yeah.
So what I think he did do, Tom, is, and by keeping that pick, I think he set it up where he could still make a move before the draft to get a star to come to join them if they wanted to. If the pick ends up like in the 6 or 7 instead of 1, 2, or 3, they could trade that still, maybe get another star to join him. But also, if they make the finals again this year, it's going to be hard for him to leave in that sense. Now, if they get beat by Toronto or Boston before that, I think he's gone. You're right. All that said, they're still. Yeah. I think Gilbert and him actually set themselves up for both in this, and I think they actually did a really good job. I know you don't want to have faith in the Cleveland team's doing a great job on something, but I think they did good on this.
No, I think out of all the Cleveland teams, Gilbert really does want them to win, not just now, but it's like okay, life.
His son just had brain surgery too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, the Nick kid that pulled LeBron's card, he just had brain surgery this past, I think, week or 2. So there's a lot of things going on there. Tom don't even know that, and he's a Cavs fan. I just saw the story yesterday on the internet. So there's things going on. Terry, how are the Celtics? Are they going to be able to respond to this? I mean, do they got what they need? Are they still not worried about the Cavs?
Terry, I know that you don't like me saying this, but they looked absolutely horrible last Sunday. I don't know if you watched the game.
Yeah, they did.
But it was.
But it's a situation that with new players, and all of a sudden you get your opportunity to play them, then you see next game will be different. I mean, once Cleveland, everybody
scouting change.
That's what I'm talking about. You don't know how to adjust to that, and all of a sudden here's a bunch of new players. You don't know how they're going to play together, whether they're going to even be able to play together. But they look fantastic. I will give you all that credit. But for Boston, just give Stevens a little bit of time. He's going to figure that out. It's going to be simple. And then what's going to happen? All of a sudden they start losing 2 or 3 in a row. Then everybody's going to say, whoa, now all of a sudden this is not working in Cleveland.
The funny thing, he says that, but when they first got together, they don't have enough time to mesh. They don't have enough time to gel. Now Terry turns around and says, we don't know how to play him. We don't know how to play. So which is it? So Terry just takes that we don't know how to play him.
Well, I don't think Cleveland knew how they were going to play either.
Yeah, exactly.
That was more like we'll bring our crew to the park, you bring your crew to the park.
I'm going to tell you what.
And then there's a 6'9", 260 guy
I'm going to tell you
playing.
what.
Oh, yeah.
Hustle makes a difference. I don't care what level. And before, watching, it was just.
They got rid of D-Wade, too.
And I would,
they
sent
him back to Miami.
I was listening to, I listened to a lot of the games on the radio, the Cleveland games, and it was just, you'd listen to them play defense, and it didn't matter who they're playing. Playing Oklahoma, they were playing Indiana. They just go down. I mean, every time the other team's going down scoring. I mean, never got a defensive stop. Oklahoma City scored 142 points in a regulation game on them. I mean, just no effort, no defense, no hustle. I mean, it got to the point where I couldn't. It's hard for me to listen to this.
Tom, there's only 2 teams in the NBA giving up more points than the Cavs. The Pelicans and the Suns.
Yeah, but the last couple games they've given up under 100. Even that Atlanta game where they had 8 players. And Korver scored 30, and I was reading about Korver, and it said, "Well, glad you had that game where nobody was there yet. You scored 30. You're about to be out of the rotation." So it's going to be interesting to see how they make all the pieces fit. Love's not even playing now, so when Love comes back, how are they going to get there?
Yeah, who do you take away now?
Who do you take away now? So it's going to be it's going to be a tough job. But I thought really that it might be Lou on the hot seat, but
They said his job was never.
If you're playing this good, though, maybe that's your next trading block. Love.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of value. I mean, not only is he a good player, he's a popular player.
I wouldn't mind Charlotte sending dang Marvin and MKG for Kevin
But
Love,
there were rumors earlier that they were shopping Kimba to go to Cleveland.
If they had Kimba, Kevin Love, and Dwight Howard on the team.
But if you got Love, you cannot take that point of selling Love away if LeBron is going to leave.
Well,
I think Love and that 5 pick and that other pick are about to go somewhere before the draft, and they're going to bring in two of LeBron's friends.
Here's my problem, and I'm going to leave this with y'all. Every person, and it's starting to show now, Kyrie could not play with LeBron. Isaiah really couldn't play with LeBron because there was so much ask out of him. And now, you got Kevin Love that's over there. Kevin Love and LeBron don't really get along. So, every time they get a top notch, and what did Cleveland get? They got exactly what they wanted, a bunch of younger guys who look up to LeBron. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think that they are ever, if LeBron is going to do it, the only place he ever mended, and I think LeBron was really looking up to them, was with Dwayne Wade and Bosh. Mm-hmm. He was looking to them for leadership. And now he's got his own squad and he wants to make his way, to me, LeBron is never going to make it unless he can give in.
Well, LeBron learned a lot going to Miami from Dwayne Wade because Wade had already been to a championship and won it.
Yeah.
I think that was the year he was with Shaq. The year Dwayne Wade and Shaq both won it. And so Dwayne Wade knew how to get to the championship and what it took. LeBron knew what it took to get there, but not win it.
Yeah, what did they get for Wade anyway? I can't remember, like a second-round pick or something like that.
Actually, let me. It was a
bus ticket.
This is gonna be interesting. No, it was a what's the 8th grade for now? They're gonna graduate in 5 years, so a 2022 pick.
Yeah. Okay.
And wait a minute, get this. That's the same year that Dwayne Wade's son is going to be eligible for the draft. So Dwayne Wade could have just got traded for his son. D Wade just got traded for his son. Just y'all remember this in 4 or 5 years when his kid is in the NBA draft.
Well, I will say that it just wasn't working out. I thought Wade would have remember last summer they were talking about it. Last summer, bringing Wade to Cleveland and and it just didn't. It just didn't pan out, and you're getting drilled. They were just Kevin, man. It was awful.
LeBron's game is designed. If you'll look at everyone who succeeded with it, is not designed for, he needs shooters. He needs people to pass to. Like we also people that saw Jordan play and Kobe play. He was looking for his shot and could get any shot he wants. LeBron's looking for a shot, the quickest and best shot available. Mm-hmm. It's totally different in that. So if he's kicking it to people that can't shoot or won't, if he was in Charlotte with all their, if him and Kemba switched places and he had to pass the ball to MKG all the time,
he'd be pissed. He'd be so pissed. He would turn into Michael because he would just be shooting it himself. But I feel so bad though out of the whole thing for Isaiah Thomas, and I know this sounds crazy, and it's not because of his injury that I think his game has kind of struggled. I think he's kind of lost now since the Boston trade. He felt like he found his home and a place where he could really thrive. He had that. He was third, fourth in the MVP voting that year.
I tell you, Hunter, I think he's a locker room issue.
You think he's a locker room issue?
I think it is.
I think if it's the locker room issue, it's because he wants to be that guy.
Yeah,
he wants to be the guy.
Yeah,
and
I think you got to understand real quick, and this is just me playing on a basketball court. As a short man on the court, you have to do a lot to get any respect at all.
Yeah.
Thomas was third in the MVP, and look how they're talking about him now.
Oh, I know.
I'm not saying he's not a good. I'm not. I know
saying that, but I'm saying from his perspective.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he takes everything personal because he gets dissed in his life daily just because he is short, and especially short on the basketball court. But I try to tell I've told people all this all the time. The guys from 5'9", 5'10" to 6'3" are the best players in the NBA. All of them. Mm-hmm. Best basketball players. Because 15 to 20% of 7-footers on this planet get in the NBA just because they can walk.
Yeah.
So you've got all these people that can play basketball. If he makes it at 5'7", you know how good he's at.
Yeah,
you know how good he's actually had to be in his life and the things he's had to go through.
He's a great
player. And then everyone
player.
disrespects him on the court. And then he's not like Muggsy and Spud where he was quiet.
Oh, no, he's not.
He does
quiet.
talk a lot. Yeah. But Muggsy and Spud weren't MVP candidates and didn't score 25 points a game either. And when you're scoring like that, the reason you get hate from other players, Tom, is because they're mad that they can't guard your little butt. They cannot stand. I don't know how many gyms we've been in. We walk in and these taller kids want to play us, and we just blow them out of the gym because
they're always a defensive liability.
Yeah,
that's the one thing.
And I see a bunch of these analysts, on television. If they talk about him, they're saying, "Oh, maybe he's just not back from injury." I think his psyche's messed up because he went from being that top tier, everybody praising me at Boston, to being riding. Now they're saying he's going to ride LeBron's coattail, take a second seat, and now he's with the Lakers coming off the bench. I mean, I feel bad for the guy because he can play.
I think it'd been different too, Tom. That y'all made the trade with the Celtics. It's not like y'all made it with the Hornets.
Oh,
There's no animosity. Like Isaiah and Crowder had to guard LeBron the last couple years. There has to be animosity there. You can't just trade for people that just been playing.
And not to mention, basically, Boston told Thomas with this trade, "Yo, you're not good enough because we're trading you for Kyrie."
Yeah,
we're basically upgrading.
It was strange that you trade Kyrie to a rival.
Yeah,
and I mean, like in the pros in football, it's like you do your best to try to make sure your good players don't go to an in-division rival.
If you do just send them to a division rival because you really don't like them and you don't care,
Belichick.
See, that's what like.
But the Celtics admitted to it, Tom. They sent y'all a draft pick because remember he didn't pass his physical.
Yeah,
So they kind of admitted that that's what they did to y'all.
I'm not really. Well, the whole thing. It seemed like they could have got a better deal for him, but deals can be hard to work out. That's why this.
Like, why wouldn't they have called Charlotte then and said, "Hey, what about Kemba for Kyrie right now?" I mean, come on. You talk about better
Kemba
deals
for Kyrie and what else?
Kemba's better than Isaiah Thomas.
I was about to say. I mean, Kimba right
How about that?
What else you get? What will you get us?
What y'all get? Jay Crowder. We'll give you MKG. We'll give you whatever draft pick we got because they've never made a good draft pick.
Who's the guy from Brazil or Italy you couldn't stand? Who's the guy? The guy.
You talking about Bellinelli?
Yeah.
They traded a first round. They traded a first round draft pick.
Give us
for a guy that
Bellinelli
stands
too.
in the corner and shoots threes. Meanwhile, Cherryville's Terry Wisnett is traveling the country and the world who could shoot just as good as Bellinelli and can't get a job standing in the corner shooting threes.
Give us Bellinelli to make Kevin happy that he doesn't have to watch him play.
Rich Cho has picked. Look, if he would have just drafted good, not even signed players, if he would have drafted good, we could have Giannis at the small forward, along with Giannis and Harrison Barnes could be your wings. You could also have Devin Booker if you wanted to. I think
if the NBA wouldn't have screwed him, they'd have had Anthony Davis. But that's a topic for another day.
I'm just talking about the guys that they passed up. Jokic just had a triple-double in 16 minutes the other night. Everyone's comparing him to as Arvydas Sabonis, a young Arvydas Sabonis. He was picked 47th overall, I think, in the second round. So the Hornets passed on him twice. Meanwhile, we picked Cody Zeller 4, Frank Kaminsky 9, MKG 2.
I like Frank.
You know what they didn't? You know the problem with that though is, don't you?
What?
They turned down the Celtics draft picks. All these draft picks that the Celtics have been trading to acquire all these. Jason Tatum should be in Charlotte. The trade that brought all those draft picks that they've been sending away. That 5-pick Cleveland has. That could have been Charlotte's if they would have.
Yeah, and see, a lot of my friends were upset that they didn't take what's the boy down in Miami that came out of Duke?
Winslow.
They were mad they didn't take Winslow. I'm thinking, well, I'm glad they didn't take Winslow. Where's he been?
They don't have anybody who can score 25 points a game. They need a wing scorer. They could have their starting lineup could be Kemba, Barnes, Giannis, Booker, and Dwight Howard.
Look, Giannis is the next big thing. I mean, Giannis is big now, but he's the next big thing. I mean, he is the closest thing play style wise to LeBron on the court that isn't named LeBron.
He's a lot like LeBron because he can't. I'll give him credit. He has learned how to shoot a lot better in his players. Early on, he looked just like Giannis.
He's taking some deep threes.
He's taking. I mean, and you don't even. But you don't want him taking those either. That's the problem.
I do get
he's so big. Why are you shooting?
Yeah, a lot of times I'm like when he shoots threes, I'm like no. But he hits. He has hit a lot of those. But I think it's going to be fun to watch. I do think that Boston's going to get it together. I can't remember who the guy was hurt, didn't play Sunday.
Smart.
It might have been. I know they were down. They were down a man. I think it's going to come down between Boston and Cleveland, but you can't count out Toronto.
While
either.
we're on the NBA, just real quick, playoffs after the NBA All-Star break, they're a little ways away, but people start to kind of take it after the All-Star break a little bit seriously. A little bit. I'm not talking a lot. Just because you're thinking, all right, if I get this seed, then I'll get to draw this. Looking at the seeding right now, what would your dark horse be in the East? Because we know Cleveland is Cleveland.
To do what?
To maybe, I don't know.
To make the finals?
To make the Eastern Conference final.
The dark horse is Toronto because nobody cares about them.
Even though they're the best in the East.
They're the Philadelphia Eagles of this year's playoffs.
I was just about to say, like, it's kind of funny, like Toronto, the quote-unquote dark horse, is actually the number one team in the East.
Yeah. And the Eagles were the underdog in all their games.
They were the
and won
number
the
one
Super Bowl.
team.
Yeah, but you know why? Because they didn't have wins.
Well, yeah.
No one knew how Nick Foles would play. But see, if everybody's on these teams, and let's just go 1 through 8 right now, not counting the top 3 teams.
Go here, Hunter,
not counting the top 3 teams, who do you have?
Nobody.
It's that bad.
Yeah, it's that bad. Your Wizards don't have a chance.
Oh, come on!
If that's what you're getting at, your Wizards don't have a chance. They don't even like they don't even like each other. And Bradley Beal's going to look nice in a Hornets uniform next year when we trade Joe MKG. But
and then we'll cut him. I hope so.
All right, we do got to take a break. Get ready, JP. Real quick though, I like what Hunter's thinking. Does anybody in the West, or either one of you, feeling anyone besides the Warriors right now? Do y'all feel the Rockets or Spurs or Thunder at all?
If the Thunder could get it together.
Yeah, but the Cavs just took care of them. When they scored 142 on the Cavs, I'm like, man, this might be the dark horse.
Yeah, but you know what sucks? It's funny. It's like Steve Kerr the other day basically said that they're bored.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, imagine if they take it seriously.
Do you think, all right, real quick, anybody got any picks for the dunk contest? Tom,
I don't even keep up with it. Right. I haven't watched it in so
Donovan
long,
Mitchell.
man. It's just I used to watch
Hornets
it.
Passed on him
I used to watch it when I was a kid.
This year's rookie Tom from the Jazz, the Hornets passed on, is averaging 20 points a game. He's in the dunk contest.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what I didn't realize? That hurt. Larry Nance Jr. went to Cleveland. Yeah. Larry Nance won the first dunk contest.
Very first one. He did.
I did not realize. I would have thought it would not have been Larry. Larry Nance won the first.
You know what's even funny about that? There was an announcer on TV yesterday that said that Nance never won one.
Really?
And then somebody come back like 15 minutes like, oh, he won the first one.
They need to hire one of us. What are you talking about?
Oh, he won the first one. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Visit Campers Inn RV in Kings Mountain for sweet savings on your dream RV. You'll fall in love with their incredible deals on motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. They've got top brand names like Forest River FR3 Class A's, Palomino Columbuses, and Campers Inn RV exclusives like the Cruiser Embrace and the Forest River Acadia. Over 70 new and pre-owned RVs on site, and they're passionate about their 5-star service. Hurry in and save big at Campers Inn RV, Kings Mountain, the RVer's trusted resource. Highway 161 South at I-85, online at campersinn.com. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Spencer Devine of Burns High School is this month's McDonald's WHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Spencer is the son of David and Kim Devine and is the quarterback of the Burns football team. Spencer also plays baseball for the Bulldogs, and he currently has a 4.73 grade point average with advanced courses including AP Economics, AP Calculus, AP English. Extracurricular activities include a member of the student government and First Priority. He is a member of the Pleasant Grove Baptist Church. Spencer's community activities include participating in Operation Christmas Child, the Potato Harvest, and tutoring elementary school children. After graduation, Spencer plans to attend the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and major in education. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also overall achievements in the classroom and overall school and community citizenship.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Tax time means sale time at Chase Auto Sales, located at 4510 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. Rick Shields invites you to come by and check out their selection on great pre-owned vehicles at special tax time prices. Financing is available, so come on out and check out the great buys and drive away in the car of your choice. Tax time is sell time at Chase Auto Sales. 4510 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. Call 704-824-5000 for Chase Auto Sales of Gastonia. NASCAR.
There we go. JP's back in the house today on the production studio. Terry has gotten out of here for the last few minutes. He went to referee some basketball. Real quick, having a little quick discussion. We're not going to even talk about it too much on the board on the radio, but real quick for Hunter, looking at I'm trying to show him some stats on Carson Wentz. 61% completion percentage, career rating 88.8. Nick Foles 60.1 percentage, career rating 87, 1 point behind him.
I'm still taking Wentz. I'm still taking Wentz. I rooted for Foles.
Y'all
but I'm still taking
you see
Wentz.
these first round draft picks of some of these guys. They may not be easy. They just proved they can win a Super Bowl without him.
I mean, they did.
News in Pantherland: Marty Hurney has been reinstated as the interim GM, making some fans very happy, some fans not too happy.
Mm-hmm.
As he had been informed, the 2-week investigation revealed no evidence that Hurney was harassing his ex-wife. So now the interim GM is now back to being the front runner for the Panthers GM. They do not have an owner yet. Don't have a
P. Diddy. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
They don't have They don't have a GM yet. The cheerleader is running the team, and they've got a lot of questions this offseason to get taken care of. Browns sitting with 1-4 picks. It's so tough, when you got those. It makes it worse, Tom. When you got the first pick, you can just read all kinds of draft boards and mock drafts and kind of get an idea of what you're going to do. But the Browns got 1-4 and no quarterback. And there's 4 quarterbacks that could go in the top 5, definitely top 10. And it's just this year's draft is going to be the biggest mystery. It seems like the next few months in the NFL in quite a while.
At least for the quarterback perspective.
Because Denver's got to figure out what they're going to do. Minnesota's got to figure out what they're going to do. Jacksonville's got to figure out what they're going to do. Is Indianapolis is Luck going to come back at all? We just talked about that in a break. So Tom's just scared to go mess it up, huh?
Well, I mean, they got the two guys, UCLA,
Rosen,
and then USC,
Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold. Those are the two guys they've talked about. I don't know if they're number one picks.
Your boy Chris Carter said if Baker Mayfield was 1 inch taller, everybody would be saying he's the number 1 overall pick with no problem.
See, but you got to
1 inch taller. That's all he said. 1 inch. Now,
Does Cleveland want another Johnny Manziel?
Drew Brees might be the most prolific quarterback when it's all over in NFL history, and he's the same height as Baker Mayfield.
I don't know if Mayfield is. I don't know if he's as bad as Manziel, because Manziel's kind of in a league of his own, but. I don't know if you want a head case. We've had enough problems up there, man.
But you got to think, like, if you draft a head case, is your organization stable enough to help that head case?
And it's just like Cleveland is kind of like, putting the alcoholic in the bar. I mean, you just don't.
Here's the other.
Do that.
Here's the other thoughts that people have had about the quarterbacks that I've been watching and paying attention to, especially Chris Carter. He's Ohio State man. He's a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his business. So
yeah.
He was making the point, I think, about how Cleveland needs to watch out as far as these quarterbacks go. He wouldn't draft Rosen or Darnold because, you know where they're from?
California.
There's a beach at the end of their name.
Well, yeah.
Cleveland, those California boys are not going to want to be playing football in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore.
Tom Brady's a California boy.
Well,
okay, he went to Michigan, then he went to the Patriots.
Right.
So okay,
things are you're right.
I'm not so sure that whole California.
Is Joe Montana a California boy? Ended up in Notre Dame. He might have been.
I can't remember where Montana, but now the other name escapes me.
Yeah, but think about
Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was from Cal. I mean, he played at Cal.
Well, I guess when you're one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, Tom, it's a little bit different. But
not with a big old question mark.
Brett Favre was from Mississippi.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he was making. Then he was making the point. If he had, if you're just looking at those things and not like the football, he would think about that. The other Josh kid, the big kid,
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. He said, I would think about him more than the 2 beach guys because he's huge, got big hands, he can sling it, and where does he play? Wyoming. He's used to the cold. He's used to Pittsburgh cold, Baltimore cold.
That's the kind of guy.
But that might be a thing a wide receiver says,
because
too.
he plays for Wyoming. It's kind of like the guy from North Dakota,
Wentz.
that you didn't see him or hear about him, but he may be, he may be the best quarterback that you just not seen too much.
Romo went to Eastern Illinois. Byron Leftwich, Marshall. Chad Pennington, Marshall.
See, but when Leftwich played, though, you'd heard of him, though. He got a little bit.
That was what was weird for me about Wentz. I'd never heard of him, and all of a sudden he's the number one pick. Like,
I mean, I had heard from him.
And that's what these GMs do, though. They know these big kids.
Only reason if you'd heard of Wentz is because North Dakota State was going for like their 4th Division II championship.
Have you watched the Wyoming kid throw yet any on YouTube, Tom? I was just as skeptical, saying the exact same things you were, and everybody wants to talk about he's inaccurate, and he is. But then again, how many NFL wide receivers are on his team? How many NFL linemen are on his team? So if you'll just go watch some highlights. Now, don't watch what everyone else is doing or anyone else. Watch how the ball comes out of his hand. And the NFL scouts are going to see that, and they're going to love it. It comes out just so smooth, so rockety. He was making throws that you're like, those are NFL really good throws. And then he makes some stupid throws. But some of the ones that he were making, and not just, they're highlights, but as someone who's thrown a football and played it and watched it, just watching him throw it, the GMs are going to love him. And that Cleveland got to figure out if they want that or not. I think they're between him and Mayfield, really.
They say that this Allen kid is size-wise reminding them of Ben Roethlisberger, size-wise. Yeah. And he's just basically like football clay. He just needs to be molded and defined into a starting quarterback.
Then you better have somebody you could work with.
You're right. I mean, you're right. If I was Cleveland, I would take
There's no easy
Bradley
choice.
Chubb.
That's the problem.
If I was Cleveland, I would take Bradley Chubb at 1, the defensive player out of NC State.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah,
take
Tom
Chubb.
likes Chubb. I like any combination of no one but a quarterback in the first two picks. I love Barkley.
My brother said take Barkley and Chubb, and then try.
I mean, that's not a bad look.
The word I'm worried about with do you have to take Barkley first because Colts and Giants are 2 and 3 and they don't need quarterbacks. So you got to hope people are going to be trading up in those positions to take quarterbacks, or will with Eli a few years left, will they want to add Barkley to make his offense? Put him and Barkley and OBJ?
They would have to.
Yeah.
Or do they want to pick a backup quarterback for Eli?
No, because they know the Giants have never really had a
Eli,
run
wouldn't
game.
you say, well, trade me to Jacksonville if you're going to pick a quarterback for instead of Barkley?
When they had Jennings was pretty good.
Yeah.
For New York, but not I guess not anything.
Not like Barkley.
Yeah, not like.
And
Barkley.
because you don't know what Indianapolis, if Indianapolis or Giants trade out, someone's going to take quarterback, so that pushes Barkley further back. So. I like if Chubb's that good, if he's a stud, and they think so, or they think one of the corners or safeties, or
is he a defensive end?
Yeah, he's defensive. So you can have him and Garrett.
I was about to say, put him on one side, Garrett on the other.
Garrett's always hurt.
And then you could pick if you go,
that's what
if you go
Chubb
if you go Chubb and Fitzpatrick, then they still got $100 million to spend on a AJ McCarron. Throw $20 million at someone that might.
Yeah, maybe they won't screw up the McCarron trade this time.
Yeah,
of course, Hugh Jackson really, he's worked a lot with him. That's something that could work. I mean, I don't know how good
It's funny because you see all these big name quarterbacks that have won national championships for Alabama, and just none of them got their shots because they were all picked for teams and just put on the bench as backups. No. I mean, AJ McCarron's not bad. He's not a bad quarterback.
He's really not had a chance yet. So
exactly.
Some guys can play mop-up time, but when the chips are down, it's a little different. I saw that when Hoyer was with Cleveland. Mm-hmm. It seems like he was a good quarterback. Then when it gets crunch time, he wasn't as good.
I think they might be leaning into going quarterback 1, letting the chips fall, pick the best player at 4, and sign McCarron to be the stopgap for right now. That's what I think they're leaning to.
Is McCarron a free agent?
Yeah.
He just got released on some type of technicality. So
he was fighting against the Bengals.
So you can basically pay him $15 to $20 million or throw $35 at Kirk Cousins when you're not ready for a playoff run yet.
So you don't have to throw Jimmy Garoppolo money at him.
No. He's like that. Mike Glennon last year got 14. That's what they're thinking, somewhere around in there, 14, 20. So I think that's where they might be leaning. Is that and maybe they go Barkley, let everybody pick Barkley 1, then go boom, boom, and then have a pick of whatever quarterback they want it for. So
shoot, I'd take either Barkley or Chubb. I, in all seriousness, for that organization to have any stability, they need to find someone in quarterback and stop changing them after 1 year.
The problem with free agent, you want to get a stud. They've had bad luck drafting.
Yeah.
But the problem with quarterbacks and not drafting them is that you know how hard it is to get a good free agent quarterback? It never happens.
They got a chance this year. They have a chance this year.
Who, though?
Look, all right, I'm not going to say, all right, just
Drew
all right,
Brees?
Kirk Cousins.
I'm talking top 10 quarterback. Like that, those guys don't come.
Oh,
I'm
no,
saying
not
they
top
don't come
10, but can you win with Kirk?
Yes,
if you put
but he's
pieces
not top
around
10.
him.
So but my point was that you're not going to sign a Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. You have to draft those guys, really. Brees got traded because...
But you will sign them if no one else signs them. Think about it.
No. What I'm saying, Hunter, is Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback, right? They'll sign him. They can sign him.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is Drew Brees will never become a free agent, a Drew Brees type quarterback, an Aaron Rodgers type quarterback will never Brady will never become a free agent to where the Browns can then say, hey, at least you come in and win for us.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying for the interim, to fill for now. Like, if you just need a quarterback, Minnesota's got 3. They don't even know what they're going to do with any of them.
If Cleveland's not planning on winning the Super Bowl next year, I don't mind they don't pick a quarterback at all this year and tank again and get the number 1 pick again.
Chance on Bridgewater. I bet he'd become pretty cheap after that injury.
Oh, yeah, Bridgewater.
If you get Nick Foles, he just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, got to go in just a minute. Round it up. Daytona. JP, get on the horn real quick on your mic and read this weekend's sports schedule. I know we got 2 ACC games today, an Xfinity race tonight, and then tomorrow we have the Daytona 500. What you got, JP, in there?
We have the someone's in Miami, North Carolina, and Louisville, and Power Share QQQ 300.
Someone's in Miami.
Yes, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Spell it. Is it Syracuse?
Yeah, that's it. Hey, look, I'm not good with spelling. I'm not good with pronouncing stuff. So hey.
I wouldn't be announcing that out loud there, JP, looking for a job.
Look, okay.
There you go, people.
I can't spell. I can't read.
But I'll sure give it a shot.
Whatever you guys need, I'll do.
A for effort.
I love you, JP. You're funny.
But I am looking for a job, so hey.
Yeah, there you go. Alex Bowman is on the pole. Hendricks Motorsports, the 88. Dale Jr. retires, Tom, and the 88 gets the pole. So if you want to know, and why didn't Terry write that on the board?
What?
Terry is now a Kyle Busch fan instead of the guy replacing Jr. in the 88, and that guy went out and won the pole already.
Got the pole.
Good job, Terry. You failed on that one. Good luck.
Kyle Busch is sitting 12th.
Good. Yeah, Busch is starting 12th today. 11th is his brother Kurt. Denny Hamlin second on the front row today. Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's been fast all weekend. Logano, Harvick, don't watch out for him. And then here's my favorite. Richard Petty Motorsports, Bubba Wallace. I mean, not Bubba Wallace. Darrell Wallace Jr. Bubba Wallace. Darrell Wallace Jr. Going to the 43 car. He's in the 7th spot this week. And Richard, there's a lot of excitement in the Petty camp this year for Mr. Wallace. And it's he's the only minority driver now. Now that Danica, I guess you could consider her a minority. Yeah. She's out of it. Darrell Wallace is the only minority driver. He's 7th. Good to see the 43. We want to see it running. Everybody likes to see the 43 running well at least. Ryan Newman 13th, Dylan 14th. Looking down for some other names for you folks. Danica is actually running this week. She's 28th.
Yeah, I think she's going to run a few this year. I think GoDaddy gave her some sponsorship money for a few
I think Jimmy's in his 3rd car this weekend. He's already wrecked 2 cars.
Yeah.
Can't afford to mess up anymore, Tom. That one's not coming off the hauler until the starting grid on Sunday. Don't even want to back it into anything. So he's had a rough weekend. But Hendricks has speed. William Byron, he's had a rough weekend too. He's wrecked a couple cars. He's in 33rd. So those guys are going to their backups, and we'll be ready to rock.
So I guess it's a picking time?
I guess real quick, Tom, you got anybody in Daytona? You picking Danica?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with, since Terry's not here, I'm going with Busch. How about that?
I'm going to go Darrell Wallace Jr., the 43, pulls it out in his first race in Richard Petty Motorsports.
I'm going to go with Eric Jones of Joe Gibbs Racing. Eric
Wallace
Jones.
finished 3rd in one of the 200s the other night. All right, real quick, that's about it. JP, go back over the schedule one more time for this weekend.
We have Syracuse at Miami.
It is a Syracuse. For those of you listening up in Syracuse, New York.
Dropped it already. All right, North Carolina at Louisville. Power Share, Triple Q at 300.
What times?
It's noon. The Syracuse game is at noon. I'll help you out there,
I know you don't read too well, JP. Bring me the sheet.
It's at 11:45.
There you go.
7 p.m., 2 p.m.
2 p.m. is a Carolina game.
What about tomorrow, JP?
Tomorrow, Daytona 500 and Duke at Clemson. The Daytona's at 1:30, and Duke and Clemson are at 12:30.
There you go. For you local Shelby fans, it's time's running out to see Gabe DeVoe and the Clemson Tigers lighting it up from 3. Tom, we got to saw him quite a bit here in Cleveland County last few years.
Did.
And think about it. He's a senior. We've watched him play basketball like 7 years. Does it say 7, 8 years?
He's a senior at Clemson?
Yes.
Wow.
Does it seem like that? Wow. Does it seem like we've been watching Gabe DeVoe shoot basketballs for 7 years over here? No. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in this morning. We went over a little bit. Campers In. Sports Talk every Saturday. KTC Broadcasting. WLON 1050 AM. And WCSL 1590 AM. As always, watch us on YouTube. Hello. We'll say goodbye. Hunter's first day on YouTube. We'll get him up. And post it on YouTube. You can tell all your friends he's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Last night's game, Lincoln and the East Lincoln folks, if you want to watch the replay, it is up on YouTube already. Go check it out. Check out the game. And you can see last year's game, too, the Sage Surratt buzzer beater on that. So a lot of fun on YouTube. Go check it out and watch our sports. KTC Broadcasting this week, we have playoff basketball starting Tuesday on all 3 stations. We'll be back next week on Campers In Sports Talk, KTCBroadcasting.com.
Who says it's quitting time? I said it's quitting time. I was the foreman. I was the one says when it's quitting time at Terra. Quitting time! Quitting time!
Sweet sunshine. We are one, baby, till the end of time. Out of the blue, I found you, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a love come a knock, knock, love come knocking, love come a knocking, love come walking.
Jersey Boys is the story of Frankie Valli in the 4 seasons. It was a Broadway show and a movie. And one of the songs the 4 seasons did was Working My Way Back to You. But frankly, Mr. Valli, most On the Beach listeners prefer this Spinners version of the song.